Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
Let's do it live on a Monday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. Ohio State lacrosse coach Nick Meyers going to join us at 9:48, fresh off of that Big Ten tournament championship win and on the precipice of hosting Notre Dame on Sunday in the NCAA tournament right here in town. 10:30, Austin Ward will join us 11 o'clock. We will blitz a very busy weekend at 11:30. Danny Cunningham on the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is a bold take. I hate coming in this hot on a Monday. And I'm not crazy about it. I think spring's worse than winter in Ohio. I think it's worse.
You handled that with oven mitts? That's a hot one.
I'm broken. It's broken me, boys. It's just. Now, I did not have this type of anger towards spring probably before the boys played a spring sport. So that's, I'm sure, contributes to it. If you do not have children who are playing a spring sport, I'm sure this weekend was fine. You stayed inside, you watched movies, went to the movies. Who knows? Maybe you went to one of these things that they used to call malls that are indoors, and you go to a bunch of shops all at the same time. They have like food courts and such. Maybe that was the win. But for those of us who were trying to get games in, it was god-awful. And this spring has been god-awful. The amount of things that have been canceled, rained out, or just played. I don't know how baseball does it. Lacrosse, you can play in the muck. You can't do that in baseball. So unless you have synthetic infield, synthetic outfield, I don't know how you're getting games in. We have Bootsy had a makeup game from 2 weeks ago that's already been rescheduled twice that was supposed to be played tonight. Got the call from the head coach. Yeah, too wet, too much rain over the weekend. Can't play tonight. This will now serve as a cancellation. So they're like, look, there's no time left to get this in. This thing was originally scheduled like at the beginning of April. It didn't. I just think that the sun is a tease. The good days are a tease. And then you just get smacked in the face with a heavy dose of pollen and rain. And I think it's right there. I don't know how much more rain my yard can take. I don't know when you're not going to be able to play. If you go play golf, like when are you going to be able to not be on a cart path? July 4th, like Independence Day? That should be the slogan of the state. Ohio, we're cart pass only until Independence Day because it just rains every day. Even this week, allegedly this weekend, we're supposed to, it's kind of should chill out a little bit this weekend, finally, after just week after week of this. Just rain and thunder shout. It's just, I'm smoked, fellas. I'm broke. It's broken me. Spring has broken me. I understand it goes until what, like middle of July? June, rather? Is that officially spring?
I believe June 21st is the first day of summer.
All right, so here's what's going to happen. Spring's going to salvage itself in late May and early June. But that spring, I think when I think spring, I think March, April, May. And that just ain't it. It ain't it.
Yeah, June, summer's Memorial Day. That's fair. That's when they should make the season.
Reese, what do we always say here on the show? Memorial Day. What's the official start?
The tournament is the unofficial start of summer. And so you don't think June as spring. I'm hoping that because this rain makes up for the drought we had last August.
Did we have one? I don't know. I
mean, my grass was all brown. I don't know how yours was, brother.
I just hit the sprinkler. I feel like I got water reserves from now until the end of time, baby. Hit that sprinkler system and let's go.
Right now, it's like we're nearing historic rainfalls in terms of what rain's been on the ground through April. So hopefully this is their way of just you get it all out of the way now and you can have a bright, sunny May.
I love that you said biblical there, Bo, because I was going to say, let's just talk to your guys at RCD. Let's have them build us an ark, and we'll be okay.
Yeah, but they could probably do that too. Yeah. I mean, one of the official teaching pros of the program, Andy Montgomery, texted me, he just goes, spring blows. He's right. It's unbelievable. I've never seen this before at our club. I got an email, not that we were going to play anyway. We're going to try to play lacrosse, but which I guess we sort of did. NBC played last night on the turf, and so he was able to play 2 games in just downpour. But it was just straight downpour the whole time, like just umbrella out the whole time. I have never seen this before at the club. I got an email on Friday afternoon that said course is closed for the weekend. On Friday afternoon, like before it even started, just nonstop. It's just. What did you guys do? Did you just camp inside? What'd you do? I just stood in it for most of it. I just stood in the rain.
I was just going to say real quick on that, I have no clue how they're playing baseball in the state of Ohio, and everyone did somehow. Like the Clippers had a doubleheader scheduled every day last week trying to make up games. They kept getting postponed. They'd get like one in the afternoon, and then the night game would get banged, so they'd move the doubleheader to the next day, and it just kept going around. Yeah, I was inside a lot. Watched the Kentucky Derby, obviously. Yeah. I mentioned to you that I had to drive down to Chillicothe on Saturday afternoon, and that was just downpour, people going slow because it was raining so hard. Yeah. And yesterday, outside of work, I spent a lot of time in my house just watching the tube.
Yeah. And then so, like, you get on the kids because it's like, why are you on your phones? Why are you chasing a screen? Well, what do you want them to do? They can't go outside. They're not going to go stand at it. Reese, what did you do? Did you camp in?
So we were in and out most of the weekend. Like, I'm trying to see if I can get this green thumb to work. And, like, we've got a bunch of plants that we're trying to grow. Yeah. And so at least in Grandview, we were able to, like, kind of dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge rain showers. Like, it didn't feel it was torrential for hours. So that's kind of how we spent it. And then, you know, the end of the day, Saturday, you're waiting for the Kentucky Derby on. So, yeah, you might have a pop or two.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Enjoy yourself a mint julep for sure. It's a great question you asked, Bake. I don't know how baseball, like youth baseball, high school baseball, middle school, I have no idea. Lacrosse, you can play in the muck. Like, you can do it. You tear things up. It's not great, but you can do it. The only thing that really stops it is if it just becomes torrential, which ended up happening Saturday afternoon, or lightning. But baseball with dirt infields, I don't know how they do it. I have no clue how you get through it. They all have to be underwater. I
was watching the Reds-Nationals game yesterday, and I think it was because they were in the 5th inning. They were trying to get it going, but they were trying to keep going to get through the 5th inning, but the Nationals pitcher was having a really hard time in that inning. Like, he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball all year, Mackenzie Gore, in that inning. Like, he walked as many people as he had all year, and, like, every batter went to a 3-2 count. And then there was one where he threw the pitch, and his foot planted, and he just went down, and he kept messing with his lower leg, and that was the last inning. It kind of, the rain lightened up after that, so they were able to finish the game. But I'm just like, man, the Nationals just could have lost their best player for the year because of this.
I mean, it's nonsense. It's just utter nonsense. The Memorial Tournament get here quick enough. Go ahead, Reese.
No, it was trippy watching Guardians in Toronto because you think, well, Toronto's probably getting some of the similar weather to Columbus, but they're inside. So, like, I'd turn on the game, I'd look out and be like, oh, that's right. They play in a dome.
Kentucky Derby was awesome. That was awesome. I mean, it
makes it a cool event to watch with all that mud.
It is. The build up to it, they were late on posts too. I mean, it was
real late.
After 7, wasn't it, by the time we actually ran the thing?
I think it was close to like 7:10.
Yeah, it was. They were 20 minutes late down there. I'm guessing the rain had something to do with it. It was a thrilling race, though. I mean, it kind of had everything you wanted. You had the 2 favorites kind of going neck and neck down the stretch. And then it was, you know, it's funny. NBC said to me, who gets all the money? And I said, the owner, all of it. He's not sharing with the horse. The horse isn't going to get a cut. I promise you it. Now, the horse will have a great life. Sovereignty will have a great life from here on. Jockeys get a little bit. Our buddy Jeff Ruby, you saw his logo all over a lot of the jocks, so that was pretty cool. That's probably, guys, in all honesty, as someone who's in television for as long as I was for the early part of my career, that's probably as well produced of an event as you're going to find. The cross section of and threading the needle of something that I mean, obviously the broadcast is not for like people who love horse racing. It's for people who just love spectacle, and they capture it. Everything from the attire to the storytelling, all of it. I just think NBC does a masterclass in terms of preparing that and getting you set for that production, because it's all day. I mean, that thing is all day long. They're doing coverage. And Tirico got sick, so they had to go to the bullpen on the host, which I'd never seen that before either.
The one thing I love about the Kentucky Derby with the coverage of it as a hockey fan is seeing how Eddie Olczyk has just made that jump from NHL to horse racing. It's something he's loved and he's been involved with. And I mean, he's just such a pro, and he does such a good job with all of that.
He's like their lead handicapper.
It's amazing.
I mean, he runs it. Somehow Kornacki's in there. What the hell does he know about it? Kornacki's in there in khakis and a white shirt with a tie, doing things. You see these people you never see any other time. I thought it was great. I love it. I love the Kentucky Derby, and I love that probably the two best horses went 1-2, which hopefully means that we'll see him again at Pimlico in Baltimore in a couple of weeks, and maybe we get a little bit of a duel between the two of them. But that was very cool. Other than that, pretty tough weekend. Certainly a very tough weekend to be outside. Tough night for the Cavaliers last night. We warned that this could go this way. This was a tough matchup for them. We will get into that. Get you set. Everything is on to the second round. NHL, NBA, all of it. Get you set for all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Billy.
Hi, I'm Billy Hatcher, a former professional baseball player, and I'm a patient at Tri-State Men's Health. Before I started the treatment, it was like my body was sore all the time, and I was feeling very, very sluggish. One day, I would be full of energy, and the next day it was like, where did all my energy go? And since I've started, my body hasn't felt this good in a long time. I feel like, I'm not 21 to 25 again. It's just been great. I feel very, very comfortable coming here. When you have the energy, it's amazing. You get to do so many other things that you couldn't do prior to that. If you're tired of hurting in the mornings, you want to improve your health, you want to feel better, give a call to Tri-State Men's Health. I promise you, you will feel better.
Thanks, Billy. It's true. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Now at White Castle, you can get 12 chicken rings for just $3.99. Tender on the inside, crispy on the outside. Choose from classic or our new Cheddar Blast flavor made with real cheddar cheese. White Castle. Follow your crave. Limited time only at participating castles. Tax not included.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies with some peaks of sun and temperatures only getting into the mid to low 60s. We'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon to early evening, some which could be on the stronger side, and then lows tonight into the 50s with rain overnight continuing. For Tuesday, we still have a chance of rain and isolated storms in the forecast with highs in the 60s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
If your idea of the perfect radio show is all Buckeyes all the time, then it's your lucky day, Slappy. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, this is a week from today. Here's what you have to look forward to. New Morning Juice with Bob and Tito. That's 6 to 8 a.m. The Fan's YouTube channel, The Fan 3 on HD Radio and the Fan app. Download the Fan app today. Then 10 to noon, you can watch it on 10 TV Plus, free streaming app available on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV. Download that today. So your new weekly lineup here on The Fan starting next Monday. T-Bone and Tyvis, 6 to 9. 9 to noon, we stay the same. Rothman and Ice does as well. Then Common Man and Timmy from 3 to 6. 6 to 8, The Buckeye Show with the Great Beam. So that is your lineup here starting a week from today. Well, I guess this is... You're going to have to decide if this is your pound of flesh or not. I don't know if this is satisfying. I don't know. This is Dan Wetzel with the reporting on it. The NCAA has sent a notice of allegations to Michigan about the sign stealing case, the scouting case, as they're calling it, the Connor Stallions mess, as it were. Michigan over the weekend kind of had this attitude of like, oh, yeah, well, why don't you prove it? We're going to fight back. Well, not so much. Today, in fact, Michigan is expected to suspend Coach Sharon Moore for 2 games during the 2025 season as self-imposed punishment in advance of the scouting case. Industry sources tell Pete Thamel and Dan Wetzel. Wetzel, of course, at ESPN now, which is a story in and of itself. But the lead here is that Michigan is going to go with the 2-game suspension for Sharon Moore. Do we know what 2 games it's going to be?
Yeah, so Central Michigan and Nebraska, their 3rd and 4th week opponents. Right before that Central Michigan game.
4th week?
Yeah, they're in Oklahoma week 2.
So they get to pick the games?
Yeah. This is self-imposed. So they're doing this.
The onions on them are just the size.
They're doing this in hopes of when the NCAA comes down with its ruling, they go, well, we did some stuff, so please don't be too rough on us.
Just pick whatever games you want in the middle of the season. No big deal. It doesn't have to be 1 and 2. Just do whatever you want.
Do whatever's good for you.
Why even do it consecutively? Why not you just pick the opener and then Central Michigan? Why stop there? Why
New
would
Mexico?
Why would you need to act like you have some ounce of integrity now and do 2 games in a row? Like, just do it however you want.
I feel like the irony is not lost on me that Central Michigan is one of them when Connor Stallions was on the sidelines dressed up in Central Michigan garb.
Oh, my God. So they open at home against New Mexico, then at Norman. Why didn't they just go, we're going to suspend him for games 1 and 3? Why wouldn't you just do that? Just suspending for games 1 and 3, suspending for New Mexico and Central Michigan. Is it what's it going to take here? We actually had thought about we'd actually thought about doing this topic last week, and then I think we ended up with 100 men versus a gorilla or something. I can't remember. But we had talked about this topic because you knew that this was coming, that there was going to be some sort of penalty on the Michigan front. And I think the question to Buckeye fan is, what pound of flesh is enough? And I think the answer that you get back is typically that you want the national title taken away, right? But that's not going to happen. Charlie Baker has already said that. They're not taking that away. So then comes, all right, well, what's next? What's going to be what would be something that would feel where Michigan would feel it? And typically what you hear next is, and I tend to agree that this would be the appropriate pound of flesh, is incredibly strict recruiting restrictions. In other words, make it so for 2 years or a year their coaches can't leave campus to recruit. Do that. That might, you're going to feel that. We always feel that one of the other things that people look for is financially. Is there a financial punishment that would be strict enough? And this is something we're going to talk about at 10 o'clock because my hunch is many athletic departments are currently running in the red because of what's happened with NIL here, and everyone trying to get their bag right at the end before there's some sort of guardrails to all of this. So is there a financial punishment that would feel appropriate? It's the eye of the beholder thing. It really is individually. Where do you stand on it? What feels like it hits the sweet spot that's punitive enough to them that stops short of taking away that national title, which the NCAA has already said they're not going to do?
I think I've talked about this where I was never in favor of a postseason ban because I feel like a lot of times that would punish kids that weren't involved in anything because this stuff happens so much further down the road usually. But now with the free transfer world and the transfer portal and all of that, I think a postseason ban could hurt them because they would lose a lot of players. I also think, Bo, with the financial penalty, with everything coming, I don't know how you could do it, I guess, to make it fair and make it legal, but whatever allotment that goes to the football team in the revenue sharing that's coming, maybe that goes away, and that would hurt because you would have players not coming because they're not going to be getting paid.
Fact. That would. This is, it's incredibly, it takes a lot of onions to say we're going to go for weeks 3 and 4, not 1 and 2. Like we're going to try and find the 2 games where it'll be the least amount of damage. So we're going to go Central Michigan, Nebraska. That's quite comical. Why didn't they just suspend him for the first 2? I mean, why would you get cutesy with it? All anyone's going to talk about is the games they picked. That's it. Just suspending for the first 2, and then it would come and it would go and it would disappear. But instead, they go 3rd and 4th game, and everybody with an ounce of brain is going, well, that's a bad look. Moore will also receive additional recruiting-related penalties per what Michigan is going to do. They're self-imposing additional recruiting-related penalties. The NCAA, though, could further punish Moore in addition to any self-imposed school penalty. A final resolution is expected before the start of the season. What a mess.
Bo, I think we always had this. He's going to end up being the fall guy for all of this.
He was perfect. He's perfect. Harbaugh bounced, Danny Ocean style. He got out while the getting was good. He's getting off scot-free. And you can save it, show cause. He's not going to go coach in college football. Save it. Don't come with me with that. There is Jim Harbaugh took down the Bellagio, the Mirage, and the MGM Grand at the same time, and he walked out free. And Tony Benedict never showed up at his house like it did in Oceans 2. He gets to be free of this. And I suppose there's a scarlet letter for, people down here and folks maybe around the Big Ten. I'm sure people in East Lansing. But my hunch is, and I got several buddies who are Michigan fans, and to them it's denial. Like they don't care. They're fine. They don't care about it one bit. So we're never going to get him. And so you're right, Bake. It was always going to be Moore who was going to be the fall guy for this. And I think this all adds up. I mean, that's why they had to pay to get Underwood. That because they had to have some momentum. They knew all of this stuff was coming. All of the everything matters here. All of it matters. It all connects to try to salvage some sort of momentum amidst all of this, Reese.
And I wonder with any financial penalty that's levied against the university or its football program, you had heard when the Underwood recruitment was happening that Larry Ellison's partner, I think at the time, now wife, told him that she never wanted University of Michigan football to ever be in the space that it was under Rich Rod and Brady Hoke. And so I wonder if they impose penalties that in any way, shape, or form hurt recruiting efforts, then Uncle Larry just foots the bill.
Valid.
So if would a financial penalty really hurt them if all they have to do is pick up one phone and make one call?
It's a great point, and I think it's probably why all of us, when we think about true penalty on this, we always think about recruiting restrictions. Coaches can't leave campus.
Yeah, the postseason ban, I think, would make the most and best sense. And I understand it for football. And I understand it's not fair to the current players, but you have to punish them in some form or fashion that makes you have to make an example, I think.
Yeah, that would do it. I think that if you said your coaches can't leave campus to recruit for a year, that would essentially paralyze them. Because all of Larry Ellison's money in the world, I guess he's got a lot. So I guess if he wanted to, he could pay everybody $10 million. I mean, he could do that, I guess, if he wanted to. But at the same time, I think if your coaches can't leave campus, that would be significant. I mean, I was talking to Threes. He's got 3 flights today, flying around traveling. Recruiting. That's the business now, that's what you do. So I don't know what, to me, that you'd have to ask somebody, who would have a good answer on this is Pantone or somebody like that. They'd have a pretty good answer if this feels sufficient. Somebody who would, if the recruiting part of it would be sufficient. Because I think you're right, Reese, on the money. They could find boosters around that pretty easily. So is it postseason ban? Is it recruiting restrictions in terms of not leaving campus? Because I think what everybody down here wants, the people those of us that want the pound of flesh for them for what happened here, and nefarious as it was, you want them to feel it. And Sharon Moore not coaching the Central Michigan and Nebraska games is not feeling it.
I can't help but think of that day that Jim Harbaugh stood up on the podium and whatever it was, with great conviction or whatever, his Wolf of Wall Street style, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That they didn't do anything wrong. They never would, any of that. And now we see this today. Well, I mean, if you're self-imposing, you must have done something wrong, right?
Oh, of course they did. It's not a lie if you believe it. That's what he did. And he knew he was getting out of Dodge before the cavalry was going to come and get him pinned down. I mean, it was, from his perspective, he aced it. As good as can be. I mean, it sucks, but it's the reality of the situation. So that's some breaking news on that side, but we'll see if it amounts to much. 2 minutes from now, we are on to round 2 in the NHL and on the hardwood. A rough one last night for the Cavs. We will get into that in terms of how this matchup could be tricky going forward. That's in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Mother's Day is coming up fast and you don't want to drop the ball. Show the incredible moms in your life how much you love and appreciate them with a thoughtful gift from Pro Flowers. Ordering takes just minutes, and Pro Flowers' large selection of modern arrangements at affordable prices are sure to make you look like a gift-giving pro. Visit proflowers.com/sports or use the code SPORTS at checkout for $15 off your Mother's Day order. All Pro Flowers orders are backed by our 7-day freshness guarantee, so you can gift easy with Pro Flowers.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I know firsthand what it's like to battle through joint pain. After years of the hard hits and the wear and tear on the field, I thought pain, it was just going to be something I had to live with. Let me tell you, that's no longer the case thanks to QC Kinetics. For over 8 years, QC Kinetics has been leading the charge nationwide in non-surgical joint pain relief, helping over 50,000 patients get back to doing what they love, pain-free. Whether it's your knees, back, hips, shoulders, you pick it. If joint pain's been slowing you down, you need to hear about what Dr. Aaron Walkoff and his team in Columbus are doing. They're using cutting-edge regenerative medicine, natural biologic treatments with powerful healing properties to repair and restore damaged joint tissue. No surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Just real results. The kind of treatment I wish I had access to during my playing days, and now you do. Imagine this summer playing around a golf, chasing the kids, and just enjoying a walk without the pain. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-2845-44. They now have offices in Grove City and Canal Winchester.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Here's what's up on a Monday. We'll get to the NBA and NHL stuff in just a second, including a tough one for the Cavs. But this
we
is
don't have to.
breaking right now. Yeah, with the Michigan side of things. Ross Dellinger has an incredible thing, a reminder. Moore's text to Stallions and the NCAA's allegations against him. This is more on the record about why he deleted all the messages. Okay, this is on the record from Sharon Moore. So I deleted all the information, all Connor on my personal phone, he said in Michigan's response. And it wasn't to hide anything. It was just that I was extremely angry of, the type of person that would do that to this program and these kids. That's what I do when I'm really angry. I really do that, especially when I'm complicit. Then what I do is I just delete an entire existence of a human because I was so mad because you're going to undercut the kids in the matter. Jeez, forgot about that.
Stand-up guy.
They really are, yeah. Rich has a pretty good. You guys tell me, Rich, with this financial penalties, fewer scholarships are fine, but a real dagger would be taking away enough wins that they would drop to 2 or 3 on the all-time wins list. That would kill them. How many seasons did this go on for? I mean, how many seasons of wins are you going to take away? You couldn't take away the national championship, and you couldn't take the last game that Harbaugh won against us. I mean, that one was past it. But I guess the whole entire previous year when they played for did they get to the final or they lost the semifinal to TCU. That was I suppose you could take that whole year away.
Yeah, I believe this was they have proof that this was going on for a couple seasons. The year they win the national championship, I think, didn't this all come out in week 3 or 4?
Yeah, because Harbaugh was suspended 8 games.
Yeah, and Sharon Moore cried against Penn State.
Yeah, he did.
So they obviously, the second half of that season, probably they weren't doing anything. But I think you could probably get them for the 2 previous seasons at least.
So right now they're at 10. They're at 1,012 games won, most all time. Ohio State second at 978. So I don't know that there's enough that would get them all the way. I mean, you're talking 34 games. I don't think there's a 34-game elimination of wins that would get you there.
I mean, it's funny that I'd mentioned make an example of Michigan because that's what I think the NCAA wanted to do when Jim Tressel and Ohio State did that self-imposed postseason ban. They said, no, we're going to take a season.
Yeah.
They just did it anyway. So it does feel like if they take a season, it'd be that 2022 Big Ten championship year, in which they lost to TCU, because I think the thinking was that they didn't have advanced scouting on the Horned Frogs, and that's why things went the way they did early in that game.
Somebody had tipped TCU off, they said, and they switched everything up, and they boat raced them.
I remember after that Ohio State-Michigan game, the one that was here, I remember folks on the Ohio State staff, and, it was Schiano.
At halftime of the Rutgers game.
At halftime. Yeah. It was at the Michigan-Rutgers game that year where Schiano was like, yeah, they're stealing our plays. He basically said it on BTN. The game was on BTN, if I remember right, and he basically called them out.
I think even current Houston Texans tight end Cade Stover, when he was Landry Locker, friend of the program, had the question. He was like,
that's right.
Yeah, we did a play that we'd never done before, and they knew it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it amounts to. This ain't it, though. I'll tell you that. There's nobody down here who's saying, yeah, we're satisfied with Sharon Moore missing Central Michigan and Nebraska. And again, I think you're right, Bake. I think Moore is the patsy here. I mean, I think he's the fall guy, clearly. And that's probably how he got the job to begin with, because who else would sign up for this and the uncertainty of what was coming? So let's promote him, and we're off to the races a little bit. He's been a damn good big game coach. I mean, he's won 2 Ohio State-Michigan games. He's pretty fearless in those games, the one up there and then the one here this year. So you got to give a little bit of credit to that. But at the same time, man, this just does not feel satisfying at all.
I mean, even Michigan's president's jumping ship.
Yeah, that's right.
We saw that yesterday.
With that. Yeah.
Santaona's going to Florida.
Makes more sense now, right?
There isn't anybody who leaves the University of Michigan to the University of Florida. Like, that is not, academically, as a president, that is not, unless you just, I mean, maybe the weather drove it out. Maybe that was, the weather's so bad, like, I'll go to Gainesville.
But we kind of knew, though, right, that we weren't ever going to get anything that was satisfying in this, that they were never going to get penalized big enough for the crime.
Never. No, because there really isn't. Because the people that need to get punished are in the NFL. I mean, Harbaugh oversaw all of it, and he's in the NFL. All right, Cavs, game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals last night up in Cleveland. We warned you, and Reese, you watch a lot of their games. There is a matchup deficiency here with this Indiana team that was always going to be tricky. No Darius Garland in this game. The Cavs didn't hit their shots, so that's part of it. But this is going to be a long series. And I think them serving notice, Indiana serving notice really in the first quarter right away. The way that they came out, the way they went about their business. Pretty emphatic victory up there in game 1. Here's Kenny Atkinson on why it took the Cavs so long to figure Indiana out.
I think we finally figured it out, but in the beginning, man, they had us kind of in the blender a little bit, and we did get adjusted to it, made some adjustments, and settled down a little bit. But and then their shot making was otherworldly. Obviously, we're 9 for 38, elite shot making by them. Give them a ton of credit.
That was 9 of 38 from 3. That's the NBA kids. If you're just jumping on the bandwagon, that's where it is now. Go ahead, Reese.
Whatever defensive rotation or assignment has Jared Allen going out on Tyrese Halliburton, they need to throw that thing in the garbage.
Yeah.
That 19 to 36, you'll win most NBA postseason games. 9 of 38, you will lose most postseason games if you're junking up that many threes.
Donovan Mitchell was 1 of 11 from 3. He took 30 shots, went 13 of 30. Obviously, the loss of Garland was felt in a very, very big way for them. But at the same time, this is kind of what the NBA has turned into, which is just a three-point shooting contest. We're both going to shoot near 40. Whoever does it better is going to win. It's kind of where the league is right now, and we'll see. But this didn't surprise me. I knew this would be a tough series for the Cavs if they were to pull this out. We'll get some perspective on this from Danny Cunningham. Will join us coming up at 11:30. A couple of Game 7s over the weekend. Golden State took care of business in Houston, 103-89, as they move on to the second round. And then the Nuggets beat the Clippers 120-101. Did you see Steve Ballmer, the Clippers owner, flew an entire plane full of Clippers fans that sit in, like, they have that one section at the Intuit Dome that's just the wall. He flew like a group of them on a plane to Denver to go to the game. I mean, it's too bad he owns the Clippers. Can you imagine what he could do with the Lakers?
Make them.
I mean, this guy builds his own arenas. He's flying fans to Denver for games. Like, it's unbelievable.
Good job.
The problem is he owns the Clippers. Yeah. Really good job. So your sets, you're going to have Thunder and Nuggets out. Let's do NBA first. Thunder and Nuggets out west, and then Timberwolves and Warriors on the kind of the bottom half of the bracket if you envision it. So that's a pretty solid second round in the West. 4 really, really good teams. Obviously, the NBA was hoping for Lakers, Warriors. That would have been a ratings bonanza. But the Timberwolves are just the better team. You're going to get a heavy dose of Anthony Edwards, who's just a stud. Go ahead, Reese.
Well, Anthony Edwards versus Draymond Green. Like, I know they're not going to be they're not going to match up all the time, but just those two on the court at the same time.
Yapping
is kind of all you need.
Yeah. Yeah. East, you have Cavs-Pacers, which started last night with the Pacers in a win, and then the Knicks and Celtics start tonight. That one will be a very good ratings draw as well with the Knicks and the Celtics. So NBA getting pretty close to what they desired in their second-round matchups. NHL, were you watching this? Jets Stars bake by chance when how this happened?
I watched as the third. I didn't watch the whole game, but I watched as the third period ended and then the overtimes. I did stay up for both last night. It was pretty crazy. I think it was I believe Cole Perfetti scored. It was the latest Game 7 goal in a third period to push a game to overtime, and then Winnipeg wins it in the middle of the second overtime last night, and it was just a floater from the blue line that bounced off a defender and past Bennington, and that's really what it was going to take because those goalies were awesome.
There was 3 seconds left in the game.
In the second overtime, 3 seconds left.
No.
Or no, in the third
regulation.
Period. Yeah.
The Blues
Sorry.
were 3 seconds from taking out the 1 seed. 3 seconds. And then it goes 2/3 into the 3/4 of the way through the second overtime. They played for another 30-plus minutes before the Jets finally won. So it'll be Jets Stars on the top half. That was crazy. Golden Knights and Oilers on the bottom half. Then Leafs and Panthers. Game 1 tonight in that one. And then Caps and Canes in the bottom half out east.
In the Stars Avalanche series, that one went to Game 7 as well. Mikko Rantanen, who was traded twice this year, the first time from Carolina, scores a hat trick in the third period to give his new team the win. Bo, I'm very biased. I'll admit it right now, but there's nothing better than the Stanley Cup playoffs, and there's nothing better than a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Well, I tell you, if you get a little bit of puck luck here and you get some of these... If you get some of these Canadian teams getting advanced to the conference final, you want to talk about all of the passion and pageantry of all of it. It's going to be coming in spades over the next couple of weeks. It's really awesome. It truly is. And that one tonight between the Leafs and the Panthers will be great. My hunch, it's hard to pick against Florida, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they feel like...
They struggled at the end of the regular season, but they didn't have Matthew Tkachuk, who obviously got hurt in the Four Nations. He's back now. They added Brad Marchand. They might have the best goalie in the world when he's on, and Sergei Bobrovsky. So I find it hard to bet against him.
Give some credit to Porty. He did a story with Scott Arniel. You remember him? Really struggled here when he was behind the bench in terms of just reaching players. He's the coach in Winnipeg. And Porty did a story with him this year about what he learned here and how he has taken what he's learned and applied it to his trade in Winnipeg as they are one of the 2-1 seeds out west. Well, they are the 4 seed in the NCAA men's lacrosse tournament. They are that because they won the Big Ten regular season, and over the weekend they won the Big Ten championship. Your head coach of your Ohio State lacrosse team, Nick Meyers, is going to join us coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, you can save on fresh medium avocados or delicious honey mangoes. Just 69 cents each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Sick of the long security lines and flight delays? Travel on your terms. Go RVing and get ready to save at RCD RV's Open House. From May 3rd through the 10th, take advantage of huge deals on new and pre-owned RVs. Our Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala locations will feature exclusive sale pricing on all new and pre-owned travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes with special financing rates available, plus discounts on camping accessories. Come by today. We'll have your road ready by Memorial Day. Find unbeatable savings, unforgettable fun, and everything you need to hit the road at rcdrv.com.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Leslie, what's that hot lamp against your window for?
Pella windows are tested up to 160 degrees, Wilson, to ensure efficiency and the lowest energy bills possible, even in the craziest of temperatures. Put your hand on there.
All right. God, that's hot.
On the window, Wilson.
Oh, hey, that is quite nice and cool. So I'm going to go grab some ice now.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for innovation at PellaColumbus.com.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Papa, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. And Rich and his team are ready to get you in a great new Honda this spring. Purchase or lease. He's going to make you feel awesome about your next vehicle and your experience. Grab a hold of this one, a 2025 Honda Accord Hybrid Sport. Lease it for only $347 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles, and only $19.99 down. He's got rates as low as 2.9%. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yeah, that's good.
That's you taking another sip of your Do the Do.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August, and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
At the Home Depot, we know Mother's Day is a big deal. So what are you working on for Mom this year? With a little help from the Home Depot, you can help create a space just for her. We have a wide variety of patio sets and outdoor furniture that will make the perfect gift for Mom. Just add a few hanging baskets for a pop of color and texture for the perfect finishing touch. Shop outdoor furniture, flowers, gifts, and more for Mother's Day. In-store and online at the Home Depot.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
The Big Ten tournament title belongs to Ohio State. And the ice bath feels wonderful.
Yes, I imagine that it did. The man that received the ice bath is joining us now on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Ohio State lacrosse coach Nick Meyers joined us. Coach, congratulations. There is some magic in the air when you guys go up to Ann Arbor. You guys clinch the regular season up there, and then you win it over the weekend up there in what was an incredible weekend for Buckeye lacrosse. You've had a couple of days to think about it. Where's your head race to today?
Oh, it's great to have you. It's great to be on. I appreciate you having me. And, yeah, it's great to be home in Columbus. I can tell you that. We got home around 3 a.m. Saturday night, and graduation was on Sunday for the men. And then we got, our next opponent last night. So I think it's been a bit of a whirlwind, but, reflecting back on the regular season championship and the tournament championship, 2 competitive goals that we had, and just really thankful. And I think to do it there after, falling short last year, being the host, felt really good. And just really proud of our men.
You take a timeout. There's about a minute to go. You're up a couple of goals. You guys have possession. You take a timeout. You give some instructions to your fellas, and then you look to the sky, Coach. What's running through your head there? Because I'm like, you're in the clear now, but I suppose until that final horn, nothing's in the clear from your perspective.
Yeah, well, when you've lost as many one-goal games and overtime games to Maryland as we have in the last 5 years, I think you just appreciate until that final whistle blows, it's not over. And I could see the men starting to celebrate, and you don't want to strip any joy from your men, but I locked them back in and say, hey, let's finish the deal. And, the good Lord, you say a quick prayer, you're thankful. For the medicine game, and it's just credit to John and Maryland. Like I said after the game, they have really kind of set the standard since 2015 in the Big Ten. And we had a chance that first year in the shoe in the spring game to win it, and we lost in an overtime to them in a heartbreaking fashion. So I think there's some old wounds and scars, and it felt really good. Even just a couple weeks ago, Bo, having that home crowd sold out. And feeling like we kind of got our butts kicked, and that hasn't happened a whole lot to us this year. And, for our men, it just felt really good to be able to get out and really start to finish, really dominate the game.
Talking to Ohio State lacrosse coach Nick Meyers. His Buckeyes won the Big Ten regular season. They won the Big Ten tournament championship over the weekend over Maryland up in Ann Arbor. They are the 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. They will host Notre Dame on Sunday here. We will get to that in just a second, Coach, but I want to talk about my boys get the USA Lacrosse magazine, and on the cover of the one that was delivered last week was Caleb Fayok. And for those who are jumping on the bandwagon now, he's got one of the best nicknames in all of sport. Big Tasty is the nickname on that, and he was the MVP of the tournament as well, and has just been an absolute star for you guys. What has he brought to the program, and what is it about him that the guys gravitate to? Because it's obvious they do.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, Caleb's really special and certainly deserving of the attention that he's getting. I think he's handling it incredibly well for just a sophomore. I would answer your first question first, which is I think he's brought belief. You know, the guys believe that with Caleb in the goal, you know, we can beat anybody. And, you know, Saturday night was a great example of that. It looks like a lopsided score, you know, 6-1 at the end of the first quarter, whatever it was. But, you know, they had some great looks at the goal. And Caleb made some great saves early. That could have easily been 5-5, 4-4 at the end of the first quarter. So I think, you know, having him in the goal, knowing that he gives you a chance at every game, he brings a lot of belief to the lineup. He's playing as well as any player in the country right now, in my opinion. Why guys love playing in front of him, you know, he's got this really great blend of lightheartedness, joy, enthusiasm. You know, he comes into the huddle at one point and he mixed up the offensive defensive huddle. And so I said, I want you to stay with us. And he put his arm around the offensive guys and hung out in the offensive huddle. You know, that's Caleb. You know, he's just got a great joy about him, but he's also a fierce competitor. And I think that balance is something that the guys really feed off of. And he's got some veteran guys in front of him like Colin Brown and Bobby Van Buren and Greg Lingemeyer. So it's a good mix.
It really is. You guys ended up having 10 guys, 8 different players. It was a total team effort up there all weekend long, as it has been all season long. You'll need that on Sunday. You got Notre Dame coming in here. They've won a couple of national titles in recent memory, certainly. And you got them in South Bend earlier this year, beating a team twice, always difficult. It's a noon start for this one. As you mentioned, you had that sellout with Maryland. You're going to have it again. I guess, first of all, how many people can we stuff into the house that you built? And then obviously the challenge of playing Notre Dame.
Yeah. Well, the first question, maybe one for Ross. You know, we're working to get as many Buckeyes in there as we can, and I know we'll do the very best that we can. Tickets go on sale momentarily. So If you're listening at 10 a.m., tickets go on sale, and they'll probably be sold out by lunch, if not sooner. So we need Buckeye Nation to get their tickets to make sure it's a scarlet and gray atmosphere. It's a really special ball. When we built the stadium, you know, we were thinking about days like this, hosting a first-round game. So to have our first opportunity to do so in just the third year of the stadium, it feels really good. Tough draw. You know, listen, you know, there's no easy games once you get to the NCAA tournament. But to get Notre Dame and, as you said, the back-to-back national champs in the first round is a great challenge. It's one that our men are excited about and focused on, and we're going to need a great week of practice and efforts to prepare, but we're going to empty the tanks Sunday at noon. There's no doubt about that.
Coach, just for the folks that are jumping on the lacrosse bandwagon now, because this has been such a magical spring for you guys, and I had a lot of people ask me about this, including my own kids. Why are we the 4 seed? You win the Big Ten regular season, you win the tournament. Maryland's the 2. You just beat Maryland Saturday. How does that work?
So that's a question I'm going to let you ponder over, because I'm not sure I have the right answer for you there. I think we welcome all comers. You know, we can handle what we can control, and at 14-2 with more wins than anybody in the country, and 6-1 in the Big Ten. We're really proud of what we've been able to accomplish, and we're just really focused on our next goal. We have one competitive goal left, and that starts with trying to get out of the first round and then go on to the next round. And that's really all we can focus on and all we can control. And our men have kind of had that back against the wall mentality since February 1st. So we're going to stay in that space, continue to hunt, and focus our attention on what needs to be on, which is preparing for a very good and talented Notre Dame team on Sunday.
All right, Coach, I'll handle the pontificating on it. Good luck on Sunday, my friend, and going to be a special one. As you said, this is what you built the place for, is for games like this, and it's not better than Ohio State, Notre Dame. I mean, I'm going to text Ross. We're going to see if we can get 30,000 in there. We'll see what we can do on that front, my friend. Thank you for your time.
Grateful for all you do for the game. Best to your kids, and we'll see you Sunday. Take care.
All right, there he goes. Nick Meyers, Ohio State lacrosse coach, joining us on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Yeah, they're 14-2. They're 6-1 in the league. They just won the regular season and the tournament, and they're the 4 seed and draw two-time defending national champion Notre Dame, while Maryland, who they just beat for the Big Ten tournament title, is the 2 and gets a bye. So it's probably safe for Nick not to comment, but man, that's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow there from the NCAA, fellas. All right, college football and the one-year price boom. It's a real one. A lot of these athletic departments are going to have to find some cash somewhere. We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Wendy's has this new Cajun Crunch chicken sandwich. And to be honest, I'm kind of crushing hard on this Sammy. It's packed with bold Cajun flavors and topped with crispy onions for a satisfying crunch. All on Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich. It's honestly kind of my dream sandwich. I hope it likes me back. For a sandwich you'll love, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring is here, and it's time to refresh your yard with Ohio Mulch. With 15 convenient locations in Central Ohio, it's easier than ever to get your mulch ready for the season. Need it delivered? No problem. Save $50 on home delivery when you order online. Whether it's mulch, soil, or even stone, we've got your yard covered. Visit OhioMulch.com today and spruce up your garden with the best.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, greener, better.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
It's time for the Great Haircut Sale at your local Great Clips salon. Your chance to get a great haircut at an even greater price, just $7.99. And money's not all you'll save at Great Clips. When you use online check-in, you can save time too. So download our app today and hurry in for the $7.99 Great Haircut Sale at Great Clips. It's gonna be great. For a limited time at participating salons.
The $7.99 Great Haircut Sale runs May 3rd through May 9th.
Visit our Columbus area salons.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Forever starts with the perfect diamond. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar, and for over 78 years, our family has helped generations of couples celebrate love with brilliance, quality, and unbeatable prices. At Diamond Cellar, bigger diamonds and better prices are our promise to you. Whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts. Because diamonds, they're our forte. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. May is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you're going to be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. Beat the heat and keep the AC in your home with Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During their semi-annual sale, you'll get 60% off and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. That's a whole lot of savings and a super smart investment, especially when prices are rising. So how exactly does Window Nation keep the prices affordable? Well, they work directly with top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends soon, so don't miss your chance to get 60% off. Plus, a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. And you pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Are you ready for the NFL season? The schedule release is coming, and we know the best place to get your tickets this year. My friends at Vivid Seats. They're seriously legit, and you earn rewards on every purchase. That's basically free football games. When that schedule hits, don't wait around. For the best selection and all the great deals, head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in your game days now.
Get a taste of that winning feeling before the final buzzer sounds with ESPN Bet's early victory promo. Simply place a pregame moneyline bet on any NBA playoff game, and if the team you back goes up 20 or more points at any point in the game, your bet will get paid out early. Available throughout the NBA playoffs at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reese. Sir, in advance of the NCAA's ruling on their sign-stealing scandal, Michigan's going to suspend head football coach Sharon Moore for 2 games this upcoming season. That's due to his involvement in the scheme that saw him delete more than 52 text messages with Connor Stallions. ESPN says Michigan will self-impose more sanctions on the football team as the NCAA's punishment is expected to be announced before the 2025 season. Michigan will not have their head coach for games against Central Michigan and Nebraska. Those are weeks 3 and 4. They're also going to be without a president. Santa Ono says he's leaving Ann Arbor to take the presidency at Florida. Ono is the shortest tenured president in Michigan history. And in the NBA last night, the Pacers beat the Cavs 121-112 in Game 1 of their Eastern Conference semis. Cleveland's going to host Game 2 on Tuesday. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Dr. Mark Levy's office a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
You just heard it from the handsome update anchor there. Michigan football coach Sharon Moore suspended for the first 2 games, self-imposed suspended for a couple of games in the 2025 season. Not the first 2 games, because that would pull him out of the Oklahoma game. He's an Oklahoma alumnus, so instead he's going to sit out weeks 3 and 4 against Central Michigan. I can hardly read this without laughing. It's just so farcical. This is by the University for the Connor Stallions Advanced Scouting Scandal. I thought they didn't do anything wrong. That's what everyone's been telling me. That's what anybody connected to Michigan's been saying for years. Well, we didn't do anything wrong. Everybody's doing it. Nobody did it. Well, then why are you punishing yourselves?
We literally
What's the point?
We have Michigan fans on the YouTube right now saying C.J. Stroud threw for 800 yards in those 2 games. How did he not cheat? How did cheating help? Well, you're not self-imposing 2-game suspensions if you don't think you did everything on the up and up.
Of course they didn't do everything on the up and up. Of course they didn't. I mean, think about how surreal that was. You remember Portnoy had him on the pregame show? And then they did the Netflix doc, which was basically just
that was comedy
washing of Connor Stallions. He was just a Michigan kid who really wanted to win real bad.
Just loved football, and all he wanted to do was just Michigan grind football. Tape.
That's it. He was a genius. He was doing. I guess I'll give him some credit from the standpoint, and very little, but I will give him some credit in terms of the process he went to go through it to accumulate all of the signs. That was pretty good.
It was elaborate.
It was elaborate. I think it's comedy that they're picking weeks 3 and 4, fellas. I think that's unbelievable. Onions to do that, to not go first 2 games and just deal with it. Why not just suspend him for the first game then? What's the point of 2?
Oh, you can't suspend him for the first game of a new era at Michigan. They got a $10.5 million quarterback. Can't have him sit out that. He needs his coach on the sideline with him.
I guess so. He'll be barred from any team-related duties during those 2 weeks, will receive additional recruiting-related penalties. This all from the university. The NCAA can still punish more in addition to this. Well, they will. Final resolution is expected to start before the start of the season. I think their meeting between the NCAA and Michigan is in July. June or July is when the final notice of sanctions. I will say this. I will be curious to see what type of teeth the NCAA bites into this with. And if Michigan accepts the penalty, because we've all know that the NCAA has been a paper tiger for a decade plus. I mean, you got to go back 12 years to find them be able to hit anybody with anything significant. It was Ohio State with Tatgate, which just seems nonsensical. And then it was Penn State with Sandusky, which really had nothing to do with football. Those two things were the last times that the NCAA really hit anybody with anything. There haven't been any big penalties since that I can think of. Everybody's just said, yeah, prove it. And I'm curious to see if Michigan will puff its chest out and try to not take whatever penalties the NCAA sends.
I just want to know, after Michigan beats Mexico in the opener, if they do, which I still think that they would, but after Michigan beats New Mexico in the opener, who's going to be the coach on BTN crying, saying they did it for Sharon?
Oh, my God. That might break me. That in and of itself may be enough to break me when I see that. We had Ohio State lacrosse coach Nick Meyers on here in the last segment. I was lamenting what had happened. So Ohio State won the regular season in lacrosse in the Big Ten, and then they won the tournament in lacrosse in the Big Ten. And I asked Coach, why are you guys the 4 and Maryland is the 2 in the tournament? They split the 2 regular season meetings. Maryland won here. We won in Ann Arbor on Saturday. And Coach obviously was, I get it. I mean, I feel the same way. It doesn't make any sense. By the way, the different in the NCAA men's lacrosse, the top 2 seeds get byes. Everybody else has to play. So Maryland gets a bye in. I think Cornell's the 1, and they get a bye in as well. So everybody else has to play. So Ohio State has to play the 2-time defending national champions. It's at noon on Sunday. Tickets just went on sale here in the last 10 minutes or so. CJ on social with this. A big part of the rankings in NCAA lacrosse is based off of strength of schedule and RPI. Maryland apparently was number 1 in both. The home loss to Utah hurt Ohio State in the ranking, even with the Big Ten title. So that's kind of a crazy thing. That was the opener, I believe. I think they opened with Utah, and that loss is the one that hurt them, I guess, a little bit in the RPI. But it seems silly when what's just happened over the last month has happened. All right, we are in a little bit of a down period in terms of news in college football, but that is not stopping the business of the sport from going pretty bonkers. And what we saw in the transfer portal was part of it. What's happening on rosters is another part of it. And there is this feeling, we've talked about this before over the last month or so on the men's basketball side, I think, probably women's basketball too, is there's a feeling among agents who represent college athletes that this might be the last time that you can really go all in for a bunch of money. And hold these collectives' feet to the fire on what you can be compensated, and hold in a sense. There's, I guess, when you hold a collective's feet to the fire, you're holding a coaching staff's feet to the fire and saying, my kid's worth this. I think one of the most amazing things about all of this is that Ohio State really didn't lose anybody in the portal, which tells you that they're quite organized in terms of how they go about their business, but also very willing to meet the necessary means that is required to keep guys happy in this moment. The reason that this kind of became top of mind to me is there's an incredible story in The Athletic about Quinn Ewers and kind of his situation and how he fell to the 7th round. And had he just stayed in college, he would have made, so much more. Reports of $6 million as Texas was ready to move on from him, but there were offers of $6 million. I think, Reese, you floated it out there. Texas Tech is just like a common sense connect the dots. I think you're probably right. A Texas Tech, a TCU, somebody like that had oil money. Somebody in the state of Texas would have certainly even more of a reason to bring Quinn in. His, I think, stance on this has been, I was ready to play professional football. And so that was part of it. But he is an example, along with Jalen Milroe, of 2 guys who, had they returned. Now, Milroe, what did he end up being? A 3rd-round pick, or did he fall to the 4th? I forget about him.
He was in the 3rd round, I believe, towards the end of it.
Yeah. So that's not quite as much damage, 3rd versus 7th. But nevertheless, 2 guys who, had they gone to quarterback finishing school, and, for example, one of them gone to USC, and maybe one of them goes to Ole Miss, let's just play that game, or if Milroe just stays at Alabama, their compensation could have been upwards of $5 million easy for either one of them. Had they hit the true free agent market. Carson Beck did this. Now, he had an injury, and so that probably factored in as well. But he went to Miami. He got the bag, and he's going to play this year at Miami, and he's coming off of, elbow surgery on his throwing arm. So that's a pretty significant injury that's out there, and reportedly he's over $4 million in NIL. So there is a lot of money in the sport. Now, one of the byproducts of this is that I think this is something that is happening throughout the sport. Most of these athletic departments, fellas, are operating in the red because they're over-leveraged paying for these rosters in the revenue-generating sports at the moment. Men's basketball and football right now is out of control in terms of the spending. Now, your pushback can be, well, hold on a second. Ohio State just announced a $25 million coaching staff. And they did. They did. That's where you're at. I mean, you go, Patricia's $2.5 million. I mean, he's more than Knowles. Hartline's over $2 million. I mean, so that's kind of where you're at now in that side of the sport. And that's always been the issue, is you've got the money to pay this staff this type of money. Used to be the coach would make around that, and the head coach, not all the coordinators and support and all of that stuff. And by the way, go get all your money. This is what the market demands. But at the same time, this is why it's so difficult, and it feels for most folks, and certainly for federal judges, that the NCAA speaks out of both sides of the mouth.
Yeah, I found it interesting, when those salaries came out and people were like, wait, I thought they operated in the red. The athletic department did in the 23 fiscal year. It's like, well, yeah. Yes, they did based off of revenue and expenses, but you can ask for help in terms of getting a coach's salary to a point, and you don't have to report any of that if it's like a donation or if they just cut the check. Similarly with your collectives, like, are they bringing out, are we seeing their tax sheets? Like, are we seeing any of this from any of them? All we're getting is reported numbers. Like the Texas thing is 35 to 40 million. Like that, 5 million's not nothing in terms of the difference between what people are saying Texas's roster is. So, like, the money being reported, we say the real truth on Tuesdays. I don't know if it's ever the real truth in terms of what they've actually got to spend right now.
Yeah, it's hard to know where it is. I think they're all hoping. And by the way, in addition to having thoughts on reopening Alcatraz, which as a kid was always the most terrifying thing that I could ever
as a prison
contemplate. Yeah. Oh yeah. President Trump wants to reopen Alcatraz. He also, because he spoke at the Alabama graduation, I guess Saban cornered him and is like, hey, we got to do something about NIL. So he's considering doing an executive order on NIL. So who knows what happens in terms of when that gets in front of a court of law, but you could have something soon, which is, again, this all dovetails into all of these guys are trying to make all of their money right now. That's the job. So we'll see kind of what comes of that. Does Ohio State have one of the best logos in college football? We'll give you the answer to that from one source coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. Just freak the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring into savings at Ohio Mulch. Get your mulch as easy as ever. Save $50 on home delivery now through Sunday. All you got to do is visit ohiomulch.com today.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH. Baths are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Sick of the long security lines and flight delays? Travel on your terms. Go RVing and get ready to save at RCD RV's Open House. From May 3rd through the 10th, take advantage of huge deals on new and pre-owned RVs. Our Delaware, Heath, and Pataska locations will feature exclusive sale pricing on all new and pre-owned travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes with special financing rates available, plus discounts on camping accessories. Come by today. We'll have your road ready by Memorial Day. Find unbeatable savings, unforgettable fun, and everything you need to hit the road at rcdrv.com.
We've discovered the perfect morning ritual, the 2 for $6 breakfast sandwich deal at Tim Hortons. Every sandwich is made to order with a freshly cracked egg and melty cheese, just the way breakfast should be. Choose between savory sausage or hickory smoked bacon, served on a toasted English muffin or flaky biscuit.
There's no wrong way to mix and match this tasty deal. 2 breakfast sandwiches, just $6. Perfect. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, single item at regular menu price. Modifications and tax extra. Exclusions and additional terms apply.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here with an opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th. Yes, pounds, and why not? I dropped my first 40 in just 8 weeks. It was easy, and it will be easy for you too. Take the medication-free and lasting approach. Awaken180weightloss.com.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, I got the nicest Google review today. Dewey from Gehanna said, "We cannot believe we are able to get the Pella look and quality at the cost we did."
I got a review too. Listen to this. These windows were great. Oh boy, for about a year. Looks like I'll need to renew, in quotes for some reason, my windows way too soon. Repeat customer?
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
We've all got our daydreams, right? Little things, big things, things you know one day you'll do. Then out of nowhere, cancer. And all your plans don't change a bit. I would know. I'm about to jump out of an airplane with my dad. Our first time skydiving solo. And my second year since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health. All right, Dad, let's go. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans.
The Buckeye Show.
When you have a guy that's as good as Jeremiah Smith is, we're just trying to come up with a sane place for our superlatives.
The Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light and sponsored by Care Source.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies with some peaks of sun and temperatures only getting into the mid to low 60s. We'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon to early evening, some which could be on the stronger side, and then lows tonight into the 50s with rain overnight continuing. For Tuesday, we still have a chance of rain and isolated storms in the forecast with highs in the 60s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
1, 2, 3. Here at The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan. When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is, and as is customary, and very proudly, we are sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. Mom's Day is Sunday. They got you. A little bit late? Don't worry about it. Plenty of time. Go check out my friends. They'll take care of you on that side of things. Couple of things. What did I want to hit here? Oh, Pittsburgh Steelers announced their rookie jersey numbers. Will and Jack are going to wear their same numbers. So Jack's going to get to wear number 33 in Pittsburgh. That's part of the change. We're now linebacker. He's going to be a 3-4 outside linebacker. So linebackers can wear numbers in the 30s. So Jack's going to be able to wear his college number at Pittsburgh. So that's pretty cool. Will Howard is going to wear 18. So he too is going to get to wear his college number playing for the Steelers. I have not seen any on the Browns yet. I'm very curious what they do, because I know number 2 is available, but my guess is some veterans want to slide into number 2, and I'm curious if they what way they go with that, if that will be a 5th-round pick and Shedeur Sanders getting to wear number 2, because that certainly is a coveted number.
So last week, the NFL said, or this might have been Fanatics, that said Shedeur had the highest selling jersey amongst all of the drafted players. It's like, well, you don't know what the numbers – are you still going to do it not knowing what the number is and being okay with that?
I guess. And here's the other thing that I would tell anybody who's in the jersey buying game for rookies: don't, because until those last cut downs are made, you don't know. I remember Cedric Tillman for sure with the Browns. I believe they issued him 89 as an 89 number. I remember seeing it like at Dick's Sporting Goods, and then they transitioned him to a 19 after the cut down. And it's like, well, now what do you do with the rest of them? So I think like on Will and Jack, you can be safe. They clearly picked their numbers. But yeah, on the Shedeur front, I mean, he could end up with a number that's totally different. He's still got to make the team, by the way. I mean, they have 4 quarterbacks. Like he has to make the team at this point. I mean, they have 5 with Deshaun, but I don't know how they're going to do it with 4 of them. So they're going to have a true like college style quarterback competition. And their rookies report this week, so you're going to kind of get your first look at him and Dylan Gabriel. But 2 is available up there. 8's available. I would imagine Gabriel would want that. But the way Stefanski usually does it is he lets veterans come down and poach if they want first, and those are both pretty coveted.
I think it's so crazy that we got guys that just switch jersey numbers all the time now. It used to be you got your jersey number, and that was your jersey for your career unless you switched a team or something. And now we got guys like JOK was 28, and then he's like, oh, the rules changed. Let me go be number 6. And
so here's the problem. I'll tell you what happened on JOK, and I'll tell you that because NBC had a JOK. So he plays outside linebacker, and so that was his favorite player. So he wanted a 28, so we got him a 28. And then JOK wanted a single digit when they drafted him, and Stefanski would not give rookies single digits. And so they issued him 28, and then after he proved that he was a dude, he switched to 6. And so we're stuck with a 28 Owusu Koromoa jersey at this point. So what do you do with that? I mean, you nothing.
True throwback.
Yeah, I guess so. I saw this from a social media channel called Front Porch Sports. They voted on the best college football logos. So they have it in tiers: tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 7. The tier 1 programs, tier 1 logos. Here are the teams in tier 1: Texas, Ohio State, Arkansas, Florida State, Tulane. Oh, what are those guys? Coastal Carolina, the Rooster, Washington State, which is great. And then for fun, they have an upside down Longhorn on there. Tier 2, Florida, Alabama, Colorado, Kansas, Southern Cal, Clemson, Boise State, South Carolina. Tier 3, Ole Miss, Penn State's in here. My guys from SMU are here. I'm sorry. Iowa's got to be higher than that. They got Iowa in tier 3. That Hawkeye thing is great that they have. Where is Notre Dame on this list? Did they stick it to them just for the fun of it?
They're down in tier 5.
Michigan's in tier 5 and Notre Dame's in tier 5.
Michigan, Oregon, Notre Dame, all right there.
We got to get rid of Ohio State in the middle of it. It should just be the Block O.
Or go back to the old school, the Block O and the Buckeye.
I like the dangling Buckeyes on the corner of it.
I think the alumni use that one. That one's my favorite too. I think that's like the alumni is the Block O with the dangling Buckeye leaves with the nuts. I think that's it. Do you guys remember when they went from Ohio State and then they paid a bunch of money for the new logo, and essentially all they did was fill in the Ohio State part of it? Do you guys remember this?
And it was like $10 million or something. So to have somebody come in and do this.
And they paid
all
like a consulting firm.
Yeah.
It's fun coupons, kids.
That's it. To me, like the biggest mistake you don't need Ohio State. If you see a Block O and it's scarlet and gray, everybody knows what it is. So there's no reason to have the Ohio State across it. Just give me the Block O. That's all I need.
So I think I got to argue on a couple on here. Like the U for Miami has to be higher.
Where do they have it?
It's
they're
down
in 4.
Yeah, tier 4. I also think, I know it's simple and it's just letters, but I think SC should be higher. USC.
Yeah. Agreed.
And Sparty has got to be higher.
Sparty's pretty good too. I think Iowa's is cool. I think Penn State's is pretty cool. The running pony from SMU is really good. Tulane is kind of a funny one. I don't get. Yeah, Wyoming is good. Any team that's a Cowboy that uses that thing is money. Colorado's is pretty good. Florida's Gators good. Like the Hog's fine, but I mean, how's the Hog better than like the Gator or the Run and Pony at SMU? SC should be higher too. If I did my just instantly recognizable would be, I think Texas makes sense in Tier 1. Like you see that.
It might be the coolest.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. By the way, speaking of Longhorns, my dad sent me a video, neighbor rancher over the weekend. Grizzlies got into his Longhorns, took out a 3-year-old. Mom and 2 cubs took out a 3-year-old Longhorn. And then you see the big guy, a boar, which is kind of an older grizzly that's been pushed down from the mountains by some of the younger ones, a male. He then followed him and picked up the scraps. But I guess the neighbor rancher had a hunting camera on it. So my dad said, he goes, "Oh, take a look at this." And we don't see them that often, but that's really close to see that many of them in the mix. That close to the and they were feasting on a 3-year-old Longhorn, which is a full day to take down. So that tells you that the Grizzlies pretty desperate. But yeah, I like the Longhorn.
He's got the full approach, takedown, approach.
No,
fight,
not takedown. It's rummaging. It's rummaging through. Is what it is. It's mom and cubs feasting. The takedown would be unbelievable.
Did he just stumble upon it, or was
it was
as he's reviewing film?
The neighbors, he must have. It was on the neighbor's hunting cam. He found them, crushing through it. So I don't know if they drug it over there or what. My dad sent me a 20-second clip on a hunting cam of the mom and the cubs kind of making mincemeat, quite literally, of a 3-year-old Longhorn. And then the big boar guy came in a little bit later and kind of feasted on it. What is your favorite college football logo? Just the logo.
I'm kind of partial to the feisty wave. Tulane.
He's pretty good.
I think it's probably Texas. I think Colorado's is pretty good, though, too. The CU really and the Buffalo. But yeah. I think it's the Longhorn.
I think the Longhorn's really good. I think the Pony at SMU is really good. I think CU is awesome. I'm with you on SC. I think Notre Dame's pretty dang clean, too, with that interlocking ND. How many of these are actually on the helmet, though, too, is pretty wild. Because in Tier 1, it's only Texas. No. Arkansas is too. Arkansas has got that. Oh, and Washington State.
Yeah.
Washington State's is good. How it's got the WSC kind of interlocking. They do a nice job out of that.
Kind of in the shape of a cougar, too.
Yeah. With the cougar shape, that's a good one too. I think anytime that your logo can be on the helmet, that's a win. And I do think we don't need Ohio State across. I think the Blocko does it. We'll ask Oscar Ward about this, among other things, coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet stop you from being active and getting healthy this year. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
Indeed he is, and he joins on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. What is your favorite logo in college football?
Oh boy, favorite logo? I'm partial to my alma mater. I think the Cowboys have done a great job. Now they don't have it exclusively when you talk about Pistol Pete or Cowboy Joe or however your school may know it. There are multiple iterations of that exact same cowboy, so I guess that might not count. I think UNLV had a cool one when I was growing up. I think it's changed a little bit since then. But I do like it when the mascots are incorporated in the logo. And for as much as we all appreciate the strength and power of the Block O, that is a little bit lacking when it comes to the team that we cover here.
Yeah, well, first of all, we mentioned the Wyoming bucking bronc cowboy. That's clean. Yeah. I mean, that thing is very, very good and instantly recognizable. I always thought, I didn't understand why they had to write Ohio State across the Block O. Like, if you see an O and it's scarlet and gray, I don't need word mark across it. You know what I mean? Like, it's known.
Yep. I remember, I think when I took Allie to the Fiesta Bowl in 2009, I think, so I'd never been to an Ohio State game. Mm-hmm. This was how I helped, win her over to my side in the long run. But I didn't have any gear or anything to wear to that game. I've never had any strong feelings for Texas, so I was more than happy to join her side and wear some scarlet and gray. And they had she got a hat that had the more vintage logo that had the Buckeye nut and leaf on it, which I thought was that was, it looks very retro now, but that at least gives you a little bit more taste of what, the school stands for and where that name may have come from. So I think maybe that could be used a little bit more, but it definitely doesn't need the Ohio State across it. The Block O does stand on its own.
That's where I am. And they paid. You remember that? I can't remember if you were on the beat when they did that, but they went from where they had like the white stripe in the middle of it, and then all they did was color it in.
Yeah, people are making, I guess I should say, stealing a lot of money when you go for some of these redesigns, because I feel that way about the Crew and the Carabiner logo now. Like how many millions of dollars did you pay to come up with the most simplistic and I think horrible design that you could possibly scheme up?
No, there's no easy answer on it. I think these folks, sometimes I think in general, like what you used to wear almost is undefeated all the time. It just feels like the old stuff almost always works better than anything you're going to come up with. What do you make of, did you see this story that Michigan's like, Sharon Moore's going to be suspended for 2 games, but it's not going to be the first 2 because we can't have him missing Oklahoma. So we're going to have it be the 3rd and 4th games.
I would call it the most absurd thing that's happened in this Michigan investigation, but that's probably not even in the top 10 at this point. I don't know. Right before Baker called, so I'm in the car.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's Karma came on right before he called. I feel like this is pretty fitting for what we're about to talk about here, because they're still paying the price for this, but they're also continuing to make it worse, in my opinion. If you have decided you're Michigan, and you know that you're going to face penalties, your head coach is going to face penalties, and you decide to self-impose, but you make a mockery of it by saying, well, he needs to miss games, but he can't miss important games, and we want to reward him for the work that he's done and not force him to miss a trip to play his alma mater. You're thumbing your nose, continuing to thumb your nose, even when you're at the point now where you're admitting that mistakes have been made, that you deserve punishment if you're taking it on your own and you're 2 months or 1 month away from going in front of the infractions committee, and you said, what? No, we are going to dock him pay, and he's going to have to sit out for 2 weeks. And the NCAA says, well, okay, really? Well, so he's missing week 1 and week 2 then to start the year because you need to start this immediately? No, he needs a little bit of a buffer there. You just try saying it out loud, Michigan. Like the part that is supposed to be severe and you're mitigating it on your own, I cannot wrap my mind around the motivation here. And I will say, you and I have talked about this before, Bo, where it's like, okay, hey, Michigan was willing to do whatever it took to win a national championship. Mm-hmm. They wanted to compete, and they did. And sometimes you say, well, good for them. They've acknowledged what everybody else in college football has said, that you have abandoned the Michigan man mantra and the mindset, which was never realistic or credible to anyone outside of Ann Arbor in the first place. But they're continuing to do this, and the refusal to take an actual penalty or to take this seriously when they know what's coming, I think is just like, it's almost over the top at this point.
Oh, it is. Yeah. I mean, the Onions to say we're suspending him for 2, but not the first 2 is just incredible. What you talk to Buckeye fan all the time. What is a pound of flesh that would feel sufficient in this from Ohio State's perspective?
I think most Ohio State fans, and especially given what they went through, was it 14 years ago at this point, they know that the games happen. And so I think, taking those out of the record book and saying that the wins didn't happen, that the games didn't happen, I think most people realize that seems silly and foolish. I hear a lot that they just want there to be an asterisk on what happened in that year. That's not going to make anyone feel any better. It's not going to change the outcomes of the games that happened. I think that everyone is realistic enough to know that Michigan is not going to face a death penalty or significant, scholarship reductions out of this. So, I think that anything that came from the NCAA to say what happened to Ohio State or everyone else on Michigan's schedule during those 3 years was wrong. And there's no way to actually rectify that. And I think that's why some of the responses, Bo, are all over the map. And I don't know what the correct answer is, because stripping them of victories and, trying to take away championships at this point, it's not going to really accomplish anything. And it's not going to make anybody feel better. That's why I do think it has to be more, I guess if I am looking at it from what the NCAA can actually do and what it should do, the people that were involved need to be facing suspensions, and they need to be longer than 2 weeks. The financial ramifications have to be severe to keep, because there's really no impediment at this point to not do it again, to not find a different rule to abuse, because the process has taken so long. It doesn't cost you the national championship. All the gear and all the trophies have been sold and presented for a long time. So I think, the people, Sharon Moore is starting with him, but all the guys who've jumped ship and elsewhere, you can't maybe punish Jim Harbaugh at this point, but Michigan continuing to employ people that were part of this scheme, that were part of clearly breaking the rules, they have to face the music for that. And I know that you don't even want to take away postseason opportunities from players that weren't involved, but they are now able to transfer without penalty to go somewhere else. So I think the school has to face the music for that. That means the coaching staff, and it means the program. A postseason ban, I don't think is asking too much. And certainly more than 2 games where you don't get to pick when you're suspended has to be on the table here as well.
Yeah, I would say so. What sucks is you can't get Harbaugh. I mean, he gets to Danny Ocean it. So, there's no way to get him. He's not coming back and coaching college football, so there's no way to get him. You would know with this better than me. One thing that I floated, because I struggle with this too, what is an appropriate pound of flesh? One thing that I was curious about, and you could tell me maybe I'm crazy on this, if you said, look, for 1 year, you can't leave campus to recruit. You can't go on the road. How punitive would that be? I'm talking their whole staff. Nobody can recruit on the road.
Yeah, I think it's certainly something that could be done. And I almost feel like, given this particular situation, it doesn't even fit the crime. I don't think it's a bad idea, but this was not, the cheeseburger thing is separate. They have so many other things going on that a recruiting penalty for actual on-field competitive disadvantage and advantage, depending on which side of the field you were on, I think that's where it has to be involved. That's why the coaching staff, I think they might be thankful if they didn't have to go on the road. You look at a lot of the opportunities here, it's more for show in some ways to go scout a game in person or to go see somebody throw at a camp. I think there's a lot of workarounds, unless you're also taking away on-campus visits, because you'd almost have to like be all-inclusive on this thing to make it sting. Because I think there's going to be actually, just to veer off into another tangent, like I think there's going to be more assistants, more coordinators who also come off the road as the cap is lifted on personnel that can join staff. I think teams are going to get more creative about how they or if they even go on the road. So my stance would be that probably wouldn't be punitive enough unless you include that with things that actually impact them on Saturdays.
It's so hard to find it because of the Harbaugh factor. If he's still there, 100%. Then it's easy. But he's gone, and so the guy who you want to feel the brunt of it will never feel the brunt of it. He's living in Orange County, living his best life, trying to get Justin Herbert to the Hall of Fame. So just a totally, right. There's just no way to get that pound of flesh from him. Always appreciate the time, my friend. Thanks for giving us a little bit of it today.
Yeah, no problem, Bill. We'll see you next week.
All right, there he goes. Austin Ward covers the Buckeyes at Rivals and right here at The Fan. Thing or Not a Thing coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Give your liver the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to newnordicusa.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
There's a new way to surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and Market District. Shop Giant Eagle's uncompromising quality at a reliable price with everyday savings. Look for signs throughout the store to find bargains on produce, meat, and more. At Giant Eagle, we combine exceptional customer service and quality foods, all at great value to make the most of your shopping trip. Visit Giant Eagle or Market District today to see how easy it is to save.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more locally grown goodness to life with a farm-fresh selection of crisp vegetables and juicy, ready-to-eat fruit. Whether topping off kebabs on the grill or adding healthy color to a leafy green salad, your family will definitely enjoy the delicious taste of Meijer produce. Plus, you'll appreciate the selection and savings we have to offer. That's the fresh-picked good life, priced for real life. We work hard to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. May is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you're going to be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. Beat the heat and keep the AC in your home with Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During their semi-annual sale, you'll get 60% off and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. That's a whole lot of savings and a super smart investment, especially when prices are rising. So how exactly does Window Nation keep the prices affordable? Well, they work directly with top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends soon, so don't miss your chance to get 60% off. Plus, a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. And you pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Producers, co-hosts, friends, some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Monday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
The folks at Pro Football Talk reported over the weekend Bill Belichick, quote, has been talking to at least one experienced PR specialist in the hopes of boosting his book tour and or the overall interests of the North Carolina football program. The report adds the potential assignment encompasses working directly for North Carolina and or assisting Belichick with non-UNC matters. Thing or not a thing?
When you spend your professional life being not only like kind of not a big fan of promoting yourself or speaking to fans and media and all of those things, and then all of a sudden, like, you take a job and you're trying to sell a book where you need people talking about you, that requires you actually doing interviews and giving them windows into your life. I'm just shocked that this book didn't sell more. I mean, this is a guy who's given you, this is on to Cincinnati for 20 years. And you think folks are going to race to pick up this book? By the way, this book, doing so, you didn't write this after Tom Brady left initially, where there was still an argument about maybe who gets most of the credit for this thing. You did it after he goes to Tampa Bay and wins the Super Bowl and has them in the mix all 3 years he's there, 2 years he's there. Meantime, your program fell apart as soon as Brady left. Furthermore, like, here's the thing that's stunning to me about this whole thing with him at North Carolina. That he didn't, if he was going to be the figurehead, then he needed to have bulldog assistants. Like bulldog. If he was serious, he should have hired whoever Mark Pantoni's number 2 is to run the program and copy it the way that it's done here. He should have hired young ascending assistants who understand the snake pit that is college football at the moment. He didn't. He hired his kids. He's got Mike Lombardi, who's serving in the role of Pantoni, who's never dealt with college football. He doesn't have the first clue of what it's going to be. I don't know. I honestly don't know what North Carolina was thinking. I don't. I don't understand how in the interview process they weren't like, this is what college football is now. How are you going to navigate it? And if they did ask that and his answer to the question was, we're going to run it like an NFL program, North Carolina's pushback should have been, we've been doing that since Mac Brown was here the first time in the early 2000s. That's all college football is. So the whole thing is just a mess. And almost every choice they've made, I found to be just nothing short of odd.
You mean the 24-year-old hairdresser wasn't enough of a PR person for you in this? It sure seemed like she was your PR person when you were dealing with CBS Sunday Morning.
What a mess.
It baffles me that someone who has lived his life in the spotlight, in the limelight, as much as Bill Belichick has, over the last 25 years, 30 years, has let this be so bad.
It is, and it's incredibly kind of duplicitous to treat media the way that he treated it for as long as he did and then expect it to go the other way when he needs it.
Right.
He worked in a profession where it didn't matter how you treat people. Well, now it does because it's all PR. His whole job is PR now. Go ahead, Reese.
Well, he left his echo chamber, and now he's finding it very difficult to navigate. I saw this earlier this morning from our friends at Awful Announcing. So if you watched at the start of NBC's Kentucky Derby broadcast, the 151st running of the ponies had Mike Tirico welcome you all into coverage. But an hour into it, there was no Mike Tirico. He told the Today Show earlier Monday that he had eaten something with nuts in it, and he has a strong nut allergy. And so he was telling Savannah that everything just closed up. And so he needed an EpiPen. He needed EMTs to treat him. It was Ahmed Fareed that stepped in and handled the broadcast with about half an hour of knowledge. Like, hey, call to the bullpen came, and he stepped in and provided coverage throughout the end of that race. And Tirico also said that May is Allergy and Asthma Awareness Month. Over 30 million Americans have food allergies. Thing or not a thing?
I don't want to get into conspiracy Bo here on a Monday. It's early.
Oh, you're going the same
you have
place
to
I
now.
was. I love that you're going the same place I
You ready?
was.
You ready? I don't remember a single kid that I grew up with who was allergic to peanuts. Not one. Were they misdiagnosed? Not one. None. Now, I know they are. Like Beamsy's got a crazy thing. He's allergic to walnuts, pecans, cashews, like that, but he can eat peanuts and almonds and all that stuff all he wants. But walnuts, pecans, and cashews he's allergic to. So you can run amok with that however you like. But I don't. Do you remember kids having nut allergies as a kid?
I remember kids having peanut butter allergies, which I believe was a peanut.
Sure.
So
yeah, I don't even have that. I mean, one of the standard lunch items at the school lunch was the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like, if you didn't like what was at lunch, you could always get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I remember that as a kid. I don't remember anybody like now, and thankfully, I mean, these are obviously very real, and it's incredibly terrifying if a kid does have a nut allergy and then gets exposed. Like, it's terrifying. But now they like have separate tables and all of this stuff. But I don't remember a single kid.
So, Bo, we weren't going in the same thought here, but I love a good conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Maybe Mike Tirico ate the nut, taking one for the team to raise awareness on Nut and Allergy Month. Just saying.
I think Mike Tirico's answer to everything that NBC asks of him is, yes, sir, I'll do it, of course. I mean, he was hired there to replace Costas, and he has. He's the face of the network now. He does all the Olympics. He's kind of like Mike Greenberg. Like, he just does everything. He's going to do the NBA stuff, too. I mean, he's doing everything with NBC.
Good team player, that Mike Tirico.
Money's nice.
On Sunday, University of Michigan President Santa Ono told staff and students he plans to leave Ann Arbor after 3 years to become the next president of the University of Florida. It's the shortest tenure of any U of M president ever. In an email to the community, he wrote, "I've been selected as the sole finalist for the presidency of the University of Florida, and once the appointment is approved by the Board of Governors, I expect to assume that role later this summer." Friend of the program, John U. Bacon, report, I've heard from insiders that now former Michigan President Ono had pursued Oxford and Harvard. He pursued the presidency roles at Oxford and Harvard. It didn't get close to either, and then was pursued by U of Florida back in October. The offer was too low, but they, I guess, upped it in January. He interviewed, which was a surprise to Michigan's Board of Regents. Thing or not a thing?
Not a thing to me. I think the only way we could get this to be a thing is if this somehow ties to stallions. Like, what happened on your watch? So is this him getting out before the posse comes to town to scoop him up?
Sure seems like it.
That's kind of what it feels like to me.
It sure seems like it. Why do we have to say I was selected as the sole finalist? Right. Just say I got the job. Just say why do we have to be all fancy words there on this?
Because he's a fancy man in a fancy position at a fancy university.
Goodness gracious. Just say, hey, I've been picked to be the president. I'm out.
Yeah.
Or just the email, I'm out.
I would think academically that's a step down.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This is going to happen sometime today, but the president is expected to announce Washington, D.C. as the host city for the 2027 NFL Draft. The city of Pittsburgh is going to be doing it in 2026. Again, President Trump's supposed to have that official announcement sometime later this morning or afternoon. Thing or not a thing?
I don't care where the NFL draft is. I think that it'll make for a beautiful visual. When you're in D.C., there is something that is incredibly patriotic about it. Like, you just can't help but like looking up at Abraham Lincoln or looking at the Washington Monument and just being in awe of it. So the fact that it sounds like they're going to do it on the National Mall, which would be incredible to have like all of that kind of around it. I think that would be really, really cool. And they'll fill it up. And this probably has something to do with them trying to get the D.C. government to get the old RFK site to come home to roost, is my guess, Pick.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Like, hey, we heard that they're going to build a new stadium on the side of the old RFK. Yeah. Now let's have the draft to kind of promote that and incorporate all of that in one. So, yeah. I mean, a cool thing for D.C., right? And like you said, Bo, we're going to get the drone shots, and you're going to see
it's going to be beautiful.
The Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument, the White House, and all of that stuff in there, the Capitol building, and it'll be cool.
Yeah, it will be cool. It'll look very, very cool. We'll blitz the weekend coming up next. And does Ohio State have the most toxic fan base? Good grief. We'll get to all of this. Danny Cunningham at 11:30. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up. Going up. But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button. Going down. We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40, period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
The standing room only, with all eyes on the 18th green.
That's a good-looking ball.
The sudden roars. That Sunday celebration.
Jack always made the putt at 18. And today, Scotty Scheffler did.
Witness the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday. May 26th through June 1st. It's second to none. Visit memorialtickets.com today.
Wow, what a shot.
Hey, it's Anthony. You know what the slogan is at the Good Feet store? Good feet, good life. Friends have asked me, how are my personally fit arch supports different from the inserts and insoles they can buy online or in department stores? There are big differences. My Good Feet arch supports are designed to provide me firm yet flexible function. What does that do? They actually help correct poor foot biomechanics, which leads to providing me long-term pain relief. I was also the guy who thought, well, if I buy good shoes, my feet won't hurt. It wasn't a bad thought. A lot of people think shoes are always the problem, when in reality, it's often the foot that goes into the shoe that's the real source of discomfort. When I got my personally fit Good Feet arch supports, my feet felt stabilized. The pain and discomfort went away. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people just like me discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply.
Guys, what's up? It's Matty Ice, and I'm here with Wendy's. And if you're looking for your next sandwich love, check out the Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich. This sandwich really has me feeling the heat, and it's packed with bold Cajun flavors that add that perfect little kick. Plus, it's topped with crispy onions that give it a satisfying crunch in every single bite. And did I mention this is all on top of Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich? So if you love that, you have to get your hands on this Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich before it's gone. For that little extra kick, it's got to be Wendy's. Open until midnight or later.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So, this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Are you ready for the NFL season? The schedule release is coming, and we know the best place to get your tickets this year. My friends at Vivid Seats. They're seriously legit, and you earn rewards on every purchase. That's basically free football games. When that schedule hits, don't wait around. For the best selection and all the great deals, head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in your game days now.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Michigan will suspend football coach Sharon Moore for 2 of the first 4 games this upcoming season. The university has begun self-imposing punishments in advance of the NCAA's ruling on their sign-stealing scheme. That's expected before the 2025 season. Moore will miss the Wolverines' Week 3 game against Central Michigan and Week 4 against Nebraska. ESPN also says U of M will levy additional punishments on Moore and members of his staff. Michigan's also without a president, as Santa Ono announced Sunday he's taking the vacant job at Florida. In the NFL, President Trump is expected to announce Washington, D.C. as the site for the 2027 draft. Pittsburgh will host the draft in 2026. And in baseball tonight, the Reds begin a series in Atlanta. Monday's first pitch against the Braves is 7:15. You can hear that game over on ESPN Columbus. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Take advantage of the BMI FCU Auto Refinance Summer Savings Event. Earn a $400 cash bonus when you bring in your auto loan.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, this starts a week from today, the new fan lineup. So the new Morning Juice, Bob and Tito, that is 6 to 8 a.m. on the Fan's YouTube channel, the Fan 3 on HD Radio, and the Fan app. You can download the Fan app today. Then 10 to noon, you can watch Morning Juice with Bob and Tito on 10 TV Plus, free streaming app available on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. You can download that today. So here on the Fan, the new weekly lineup, T-Bone and Tyvis, 6 to 9. We remain where we are currently. Rothman and Ice remain where they are currently. And then Man and Timmy, 3 to 6, will happen as well. And then 6 to 8 will be the Buckeye Show with the great Brandon Beam. So there you go in terms of your weekday lineup starting a week from today. All right, time to blitz the weekend. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present a Weekend Sports Blitz.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 3 restaurant locations, Grandview, Gahanna, and now in Westerville. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
I believe I had that, Bake. What did you have?
I believe I had that Game 7s in the Stanley Cup playoffs are undefeated. We only got 2 in round 1. They were both out west. Of course, one of them was last night, and the game was just awesome between the Blues and Winnipeg. Winnipeg coming back after giving up 2 early goals. They score with 3 seconds left to force overtime. Then they win it to move on in the second overtime. And then just the drama of the Avalanche and Stars in their Game 7, with that being tied 1-1. And then Mikko Rantanen, who had played his whole career with Colorado until this season when he was traded away twice at the deadline, ends up scoring a hat trick in the final third period to win the game. It's just Stanley Cup playoffs are the best.
Yeah, they're pretty good in those scenarios. Go ahead, Reese.
I believe I had that the Pacers-Cavs series was going to be a fist fight. Like, this is matchup nightmares abound for Cleveland and what Indiana presents. I still think Cavs in 6. I was a little surprised at how well Indiana was able to shoot the 3 compared to how poorly Cleveland shot it. I didn't think they would miss Darius Garland that much, but boy, do they miss Darius Garland.
Yeah, I believe I had it. I was looking at the extended last week, and I just saw this rain, and I said, you're going to come on and you're going to complain about spring in Ohio. And I just came on today and I complained about it. I'm just broken, man. I'm just broken. I don't know how you do it. It's so brutal. And we're lucky that we have a couple of turf fields that kids can play on. But spring sports here in this state, man, the schedulers, like trying to make things work, trying to get games in. It's just really brutal, the amount of rain that we take on. It's been this way really for the entire month of most of March has been brutal. I mean, how many great days have we had? It's really not too many, quite honestly. I did not have that. What did not have, Bake?
I did not have the Yuba. We're going to need a first Friday this week.
I'm drinking tonight. We're supposed to play 2 games tonight, but there's Beamsy's got one at like 8 and NBC's at 6, but like there's lightning in the forecast. So like if there's lightning, then if you hear it, then you got to shut down for an hour, even if it's 6 miles away.
Actually, I did not have the Stars beating the Avalanche in that first round series. Yeah. I know that the Stars are a good team, but the star power of Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, their captain Gabriel Landeskog coming back for the first time in 3 years, I thought that would be enough for Colorado, but I think it just goes to show you goaltending, especially in the Stanley Cup playoffs, means more than any other time of year.
I didn't have the NHL draft lotteries tonight at 7. So I looked, and I've simulated on Tankathon the draft lottery 10 times, and 9 of those times have given Columbus the 13th overall pick. The Jackets do have Minnesota's first round in 2025, but that's locked into the 20th spot. So 2 first-round picks for the CBJ. I think it's, if I'm looking correctly at the percentages, San Jose with the best odds for the number 1 overall pick, and then Chicago and Nashville.
Yeah, usual suspects there at the top. I did not have Scotty Arniel being a competent NHL head coach.
No.
Because when he was so out of his depth here, just completely. But good for him. He learned, he lived, he learned, and he got better, and now he is. And he's having a hell of a run with Winnipeg as they got to overtime with 3 seconds left in regulation last night to eventually advance. Player who impressed, Bake, who do you got?
I feel like we have a lot of good categories or good candidates for this and for Coach of the Week this week. Yeah. But I'm going a little off the board here. Santiago Espinal. I don't think a lot of people know who he is. He's a reserve infielder for the Cincinnati Reds, kind of a utility player, a guy that they got for nothing. Was an all-star with Toronto in 2023. The Reds picked him up. This guy's having a heck of a run right now, getting to play a little bit every day. He's 13 for 26 at the plate in his last 8 games. Now, he's not going to hit a lot of home runs. He's not going to do a lot of things flashy with the bat. He's a very good Gold Glove type defensive infielder. He's even playing some outfield for the Reds. He's a guy that needs to be in the lineup every day right now for Terry Francona.
I got more baseball coming. Player who impressed, Guardians infielder Daniel Schneemann. The name almost doesn't fit on the back of the jersey, but he had a pair of home runs Saturday in the Guardians' 5-3 win over the Blue Jays in Toronto. That 1 home run, a grand slam in the 9th inning. So Schneemann is the second player in Major League Baseball history to have a multi-home run game on the road that included the game-winning grand slam with his team trailing and down to the final out in the 9th. The other player, a plucky hitter named Babe Ruth, who had that on July 18th in 1919.
That's nice. Anytime it's you and Ruth, that's a win. I'm going to go Sovereignty here. He's your Kentucky Derby winner. That was an incredible down the stretch between him and Journalism, and to pull away the way that he did in the last couple of furlongs there was really, really cool. And I hope that we get to see those two horses again in the Preakness in a couple of weeks. Haven't seen anything yet this morning, but I hope we get to see them both in the Preakness in a couple of weeks because that was fun. Really, really cool down the stretch out of both of them. Player who disappointed. Who do you got, Bake?
This doesn't surprise me, but it's James Harden. When the Clippers needed you the most, you came up the least. Now, he did have 13 assists in the game that they lose the Game 7 to the Nuggets, but just 2 of 8 shooting. He didn't even take a lot of shots. 1 of 4 from 3, just 7 points, 5 rebounds. I feel like the Clippers have put a lot of eggs in the James Harden basket, and a lot of times he just comes up short.
In the playoffs, he has his whole career, really. Go ahead, Reese.
I'm disappointed in Jared Allen. In any playoff game, I need more than 5 rebounds from you. And defensively, in the second half, non-existent. Like, he came out hot. Mm-hmm. Like, he had a couple dunks, and they looked to be, like, go low. You don't have Darius Garland to create shots from the perimeter, so let's not junk up threes. And they went away from that, and it felt like Jared Allen kind of just quit late in that game.
Strange game for them. Yeah, for me, it's Donovan Mitchell. Like, he's a super-duper star. You can't go 1 of 11 from 3. Just can't have it. So, that's the thing that is a tough pill to swallow on that side of it is the Mitchell side of it. We'll get some perspective on all of this from Danny Cunningham coming up in about 20 minutes from now. Player Bud Kilmer, Honorary Coach of the Week, Bake. Where are you going here?
On November 19th of this year, Jim Montgomery was fired by the Boston Bruins. On March 24th, he was hired to be the head coach of the St. Louis Blues. At the time, the Blues were 9-12-1. They finished the year on a 35-18-7 clip that got them into the playoffs, where they took the number 1 seed Winnipeg Jets to the brink last night. We're actually 3 seconds away from winning and moving on in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Blues had averaged 2.35 goals a game when Montgomery got hired. They ended the year at a 3.05 goals a game clip. Their power play also went from near the bottom of the league to exactly the middle of the league at 16. Montgomery is a heck of a coach. I wonder if Boston will regret getting rid of him at some point.
Coach of the Week for me is crew boss Wilfried Nancy. Columbus beat Charlotte 4-2 on Saturday. They are 7-3-1. Columbus's 24 points has them tops in Major League Soccer. Pretty good start to the season, considering you wonder, how are they going to replace the scoring and the offense of Cucho Hernandez? So far, so good.
So far, so good. Yeah, it's a hell of an operation there. Bud Kilmer, Honorary Coach of the Week. D. Wayne Lucas, 89 and still saddling Derby horses. He had American Promise, which faded as it went along. But I remember him as a kid. The Derby was very special in my house. It was one of the few things that we would all sit down and watch as a family. And D. Wayne, he's just omnipresent. And the fact at 89, he's still sending horses out there. Also, Bob Baffert, I'm going to give him a little bit. He returns to the Kentucky Derby and continues to wear blue shaded glasses everywhere he goes, which is a hell of a choice to continue to roll that style every time that you show up at a race. But there is something about the pomp and circumstance of the Derby, and it's cool to see D. Wayne. My dad was thrilled because D. Wayne mentioned his old quarter horse days, which is the type of horses that we raise, so he was excited about that. Go ahead, Beck.
Bob Baffert, I believe the horse that he had that was really good in this was Rodriguez, who got scratched. Citizen Bull led that race for a lot of the time. He was the pace setter, which is tough to do off of the rail, but he ended up falling back in the race as well towards the end. But it's hard to bet against a Bob Baffert horse.
I think they're lucky that several horses didn't fall, because Citizen Bull came right at the gate. If you guys saw it, he went all the way across. They were lucky that there weren't any of them that went to their knees.
Went from the 1 to the 12 spot.
Yeah, in
smart play.
In 3 paces, went all the way over. It was whoa. All right. Most toxic college football fan base. Where does Ohio State's rank on that? We will get to that and Danny Cunningham coming up at 11:30 on the Cavs. Coming up next, Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
They will resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold out.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Bobcat Enterprises says thank you for your support as they celebrate 50 years of serving the construction industry. Established in 1975 in Cincinnati, Bobcat Enterprises has expanded to 9 stores to meet you where you are in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. Find equipment for any construction project, including compact track loaders and excavators. Plus, Bobcat Enterprises rents compact equipment and attachments. Find current specials and locations at bobcatent.com or follow Bobcat Enterprises Inc. on Facebook. Bobcat Enterprises, 50 years working for you.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here with a challenge. Well, a challenge might not be the best choice of words, so let's say an opportunity. Take the opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th with Awaken 180. Has a different ring to it when you have a finish line, doesn't it? 40 by the 4th. Maybe you looked at the scale this morning and it read 230 pounds. How about it reading 190 by the 4th of July? Maybe the scale says 300. Wouldn't the 260 number be a little nicer on your eyes and on your knees? It's attainable if you have the same results we all had with Awaken 180. I dropped 40 pounds in just 8 weeks. There's no reason you can't drop 40 by the 4th and be feeling as great as I still do now. Ring Independence Day in healthy, confident, and most important, feeling happy. You reached your goal with the help of Awaken 180. So fire up your grill and grab your beverage of choice because the weight's staying off thanks to free support for life. 40 by the 4th. Set your goal and reach it. Reserve your consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say.
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies with some peaks of sun and temperatures only getting into the mid to low 60s. We'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon to early evening, some which could be on the stronger side, and then lows tonight into the 50s with rain overnight continuing. For Tuesday, we still have a chance of rain and isolated storms in the forecast with highs in the 60s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, you're sick of those long security lines. I know I am. The flight delays. Nearly every time I go to the airport, it appears that I am delayed in some way or another. Well, here's how you can take matters into your own hands. You can travel on your terms. Go RV. Get ready to save. My friends at RCD RV's open house, it is on. It started over the weekend. It continues through the 10th. Take advantage of huge deals on new and pre-owned RVs, Delaware, Heath, Pataskala. Exclusive sale pricing on new and pre-owned travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes. Special financing rates are available, plus discounts on all camping accessories. Come by today. They will take care of you. Tell them I sent you. They're going to have you road ready by Memorial Day. Find unbeatable savings, unforgettable fun, and everything you need to hit the road at rcdrv.com. If you guys were to guess which sporting event this weekend 13-year-old NBC was most excited for. So you had the basketball, the hockey. We watched the lacrosse as a family. We watched the second half of the Cavs game as a family after lacrosse was over last night. But there was one event that we have not yet mentioned that was his number one. Like, he literally sat there for all of it.
The UFL's matchup of the Panthers and Battlehawks.
No.
Oh.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
All right.
The pattern is full. Bake, you got a guess?
The Crew game.
Nope. F1 at Miami.
Oh.
I watched qualifying on Saturday and it just rained.
It was, yeah. So it got me thinking about 20 years ago when the FIFA video, more than that, maybe 25 years ago, when the FIFA video game that game was around previous to that, but about 20 years ago, the game became so good that it was probably, in terms of gameplay, the most fun you could have on your system was playing FIFA. As someone who at that time played some of the sports video games, like the FIFA video game was as much fun as you're probably going to have. And with that came an incredible explosion of that sport in our country. It kind of coincided with those games being accessible. I don't know if I've told you guys this. So when I was at the CBS affiliate in Tallahassee, there was an Englishman who was from Birmingham, the home of Tommy Shelby, who would call me every single Saturday and Sunday and have me read off the internet Premier League scores. He didn't have access to it. So he would call in a very thick Cockney accent and ask me to go over the scores from the Premier League. And I would give him the scores. I'd do it Saturday and Sunday and the entire Premier League season. And it was really one of those things where you never saw those games. You would sometimes get a little bit of Champions League, but that's kind of it. You never were able to watch the Premier League. You're never able to watch La Liga, Bundesliga, any of that stuff. Well, all of a sudden, probably about 15 years ago, you started to be able to. You started to be able to see these games. And now, obviously, you can watch all of the games you want. You want to watch Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, anybody you want, you can. And so I think the video game coinciding with that sport becoming more accessible created this explosion in European soccer and kids being able to watch it and emulate it here in America. And I think F1 is kind of benefiting from a similar experience. And I'm just viewing this through my 13-year-old from the standpoint of Drive to Survive, the Netflix series? I think it's Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's the Netflix series. There's several seasons of that. So it's accessible. So now you get to know these guys. What's not to like? They're pretty charismatic, in the most part, pretty good looking. They live a pretty glamorous life. And there is the F1 game on Xbox is amazing. It's amazing. So like him and his buddies will play that racing game, the F1 game, and they'll race it at night. And they do it. So the thing he was most excited about was the Miami Grand Prix. That was the thing. He couldn't wait. And it's 50. I had never sat and watched like an F1 race, but it was on as we were, getting ready to go out for lacrosse that Sunday evening. And he sat on the couch and watched the whole thing. 57 laps. It was over pretty quickly. Like, this isn't the Daytona 500 where it's 5 hours. It's not the Indy 500 where it's 5 hours. Like, it was over pretty quickly. And the way that they cover it, you get it. I mean, it makes sense. The way that they glamorize it, all of it. Like, it's an event every single location they go to. And this was one of the few ones that he could watch in real time because, of course, most of them are all over the globe. So that hinders it a little bit. So this is one he could actually watch in real time.
And it probably helps with the people he follows on Instagram, like the social media stars. They all go to this thing. Like, I think I saw Joe Burrow wearing amounted to pajamas.
What's he doing?
He's a fashion icon.
Come on, Joe. What are we doing?
I think they were like pink silk pajamas.
It was.
A romper kind of thing. But like when you see all of your favorite stars are at this thing, like, that's what your friends are going to be talking about. And that's what then you decide, all right, that's what's going to be what we do on Monday. Talk about F1.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how that's been the case. So in terms of, they were at Miami this weekend. When is the next? Okay, so they're in Canada in early June. And this track, it's unbelievable. They're in Italy, then Monaco, then Spain, then Canada. I think there's one in Austin too. Yeah, there is. There's one in Austin in October. So there's 2 stops now on the. There used to be one in Indy years ago. Oh, Vegas too. Okay.
Yeah, the Vegas one's been a big deal here the past couple of years.
Yeah. So they finish in Abu Dhabi at the end of the year, but they've got Vegas, they've got Austin, and then they've got this one in Miami, which is the one that all of the drivers love because, of course, who doesn't love going to Miami? So that's kind of the idea of it. But that was what he was most jacked up for, was that. And I think the video game's a big part of it. And I think you're right, Reese, the social media aspect of it. Like, all these influencers are there, all of these people, and there's a glamour to it. I liked how quick it was. That was nice for me. That it was basically over in 2 hours. I saw this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but there was something going around today about most toxic college football fan bases. So Ohio State was number 1 on this list. They rated them 1 to 10, and Ohio State was a perfect 10 in terms of the toxicity of its fan base. Florida was 2, Georgia was 3, Colorado 4, which is absurd. There's no toxicity around the Colorado fan base. It's quite frankly not that big. The same would go with number 5. That's Miami. That's not that big either. Tennessee is 6. Texas was 7. Alabama 8. Florida State 9. Michigan was 10. I think anytime you're huge in your fan base, toxicity is going to come with it. The other common denominator with most of the teams mentioned here is a great amount of success. So then a fan base becomes demanding. Would you describe the Ohio State fan base as any more toxic than any of the others that are in this space, or just because it's the biggest?
Maybe that has a lot to do with it. I was wondering, like, they ranked it out of 10, but Ohio State gets a 10 out of 10, and there's some of these getting like 7.3s and 7. Like, I'd explain how you came up with that number.
Oh, nobody can, buddy. It's
no,
just on the internet.
It's just an internet. Like Michigan's 6.8. Like, are you doing the 1 bite challenge thing here, and you're just assigning an arbitrary decimal?
But I think the thing you have to look for here is, what I look for in a toxic fan base is one that has outsized expectations for the program. So, for example, like Florida that high makes some sense to me because they think they're entitled to, like, Bama, Ohio State. That's what they believe.
Like, the scope and scale of Buckeye Nation is so much that they're everywhere. And so are all of these fan bases in terms of you'll find somebody everywhere. But it's the winning. I think the recency bias. Like, I'm sure, when Georgia was putting back-to-back titles up, they were probably, if they did this back then, 2 years ago, they were putting them. Similarly with Michigan. And then Colorado, like 10 years ago, did anybody think anything of the Colorado fan base?
Nobody even thought of the Colorado fan base 5 years ago.
I think with Ohio State, and it's partly because it's so big, but there are, when you have a larger scope of people, you're going to have bad fans in there. And we heard it on here, and heck, even some of us on this radio station, after Ohio State lost to Michigan, we're like, you got to get rid of Ryan Day. He's got to go. And now everybody that he won a national championship is in love with Ryan Day. So I think there's some of that. I think there's also a little bit of jealousy, right? Like, Ohio State has been so good for so long that people hate Ohio State fans because they can be cocky and smug about that. I'm with you guys. Like on Colorado, they've never won anything, so I don't understand how their fan base can be that way. I will say this. There was a time in my life when I hated Florida fans when they beat Ohio State in 2 national championship games in 1 year, and you heard about it. The Michigan fans, they kind of went away for a long time. But they're back now, and it's been making for an awesome YouTube chat today with the back and forth between the Ohio State and Michigan fans. But when Michigan's bad, I feel like you don't hear from them.
I remember in high school, this was the end of Lloyd Carr, the beginning of Rich Rod, that there were Michigan fans that were legitimately trying to make the argument that their rivalry with Michigan State meant more. And then it was basketball school.
Mike Hart did that.
He did the little brother, big brother thing, but was it ever
no, that's right. You're right.
This means more than that when anybody with a brain goes, no.
You're right. Yeah. Not. Florida, to me, would be way up there because of their outsized view of themselves. And you can win there, but the 2 times that they've won big, they had 2 of the 5 best coaches the last 50 years in Spurrier and Meyers. So that probably had something to do with it as well. Tough night last night up in Cleveland. Danny Cunningham's been there with the Cavs every step of the way. Did he see this coming? We'll ask him in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, 3-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, 2-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So, this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best hair on the air. You were listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's get some perspective on what went down last night up in Cleveland with our good buddy Danny Cunningham, Locked On Cavs, 92.3 The Fan up in Cleveland as well. Buddy, thank you so much for taking the time. Did you see this coming the way that it went down last night? Maybe let's start there.
I did not. I thought that it was certainly possible the Cavs could lose a game, maybe a couple games in this series. I didn't think that if they lost the game, it would be because they had their worst shooting performance of the season. They had not made fewer than 10 3-pointers in any game throughout the entire 86 games that they had played regular season and playoffs. So for that to happen and the Pacers to hit 19 threes, which is, I believe, their 4th most in a game all season long, for those two things to happen on the same night is not something I would have remotely expected. The Pacers are a really good team. They're capable of having a good shooting night. The Cavs, just like any other team, are capable of having a bad shooting night. But for those two things to happen in the fashion that they did on the same night is what I think is the real outlier of this game.
And so with that, buddy, as you're going through that, and I didn't have those things at my disposal, but now that you've shared them with us and with the audience, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so maybe I don't feel so bad about it. Like Donovan Mitchell's not going to go 1 of 11 again, like those type of things. So is there some bit of warm blanket in the fact that this just feels a bit like an outlier?
I think there is, because if you look at that and say, okay, the Cavs got outscored by 30 points from beyond the three-point arc, and they were not the highest volume team. They were up there, but they were not the highest volume team from three-point range during the regular season. They were the number 2 team in terms of shooting percentage. There was only one game during the regular season in which they were outscored by 30 or more points from beyond the arc. It was their first loss of the season in Boston back in November. They were only outscored by 20 or more points twice in the regular season in all 82 games. And then for that to happen, and they only lose by 9 in a game in which the Pacers hit 19 threes, I think if you're the Cavs, and there are other things to think about there, this is more than just the Cavs missed shots and the Pacers made shots, but I think that you can kind of fall back on and say, okay, we got outscored by 30 points at a thing we're really, really good at. That is very clearly an outlier. I think we can feel okay about losing this game by only 9 points. Like if the Cavs have a bad shooting night and go 13 of 38 or whatever it was instead, they win this game and maybe feel a little bit better, but it's still kind of like this should have been much better than it was.
What can you tell us about Garland and his injury?
So I was surprised that he didn't play last night. Kenny Atkinson told us at practice on Saturday that Garland did not practice Saturday, but went through a full contact, high-intensity day on Friday, getting ready for it, and Saturday was a planned off day for him, and it was a little bit of a lighter day as the team was preparing for the game. I didn't think that this was that severe of an injury when it happened in Miami. I was led to believe that it wasn't all that concerning, but I think it's impossible to not be concerned at this point after he is now – we are coming up on 2 weeks without him playing in a game. The last game he played was a couple of Wednesdays ago, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. And I do think that this result is something, especially where the Cavs, I thought, really missed his ball handling. They missed the ball movement that he can provide. And obviously the shooting, when you talk about an outlier shooting game, to have a guy that is as great of a three-point shooter as him watching in street clothes, that affects things. But I think that you really saw the Cavs miss Darius Garland specifically in that game last night. And they're going to need him to win this series. I don't know that I would have said that before yesterday, but I certainly feel that way right now.
Danny, do you? This has been such a magical season for them, through the way that it started, the whole thing. It's just been an incredible ride with Kenny in his first year here. But this game too is going to have something that maybe they haven't had all season, which is real pressure. You can't go to Indy down 0-2. How do you anticipate this? I mean, these guys have been together a long time. They have. What type of resistance do you think you're going to see next time out?
I think that they're going to come out throwing the first punch. I think they're going to play much, much better. I think they will be more focused into this game, more locked into this game. Not to say that they weren't prepared, but there is something to be said about the pace at which Indiana plays, right, where they want to get up and down the floor so quick. And I thought in the first quarter that the Cavs were kind of shell-shocked by that. And I thought they did a better job in the later quarters of this game sort of dictating the terms that it was played on. But it was kind of a too little, too late thing as far as that goes. And teams in this spot historically are awesome. And we can go back a couple of years to when the Cavs were in the first round against the New York Knicks. And that was obviously a lesser Cavs team and a lesser Knicks team, I think, than what this Pacers team is. But the Cavs lost game one, I think, in similar fashion to what happened last night. They came out in game two against New York and just absolutely blew the doors off the Knicks. And I don't know that this is going to be a blowout win for the Cavs on Tuesday night. But I would be, for as surprised as I am about the shooting variance that happened last night, I would be more surprised if the Cavs didn't come out and look awesome tomorrow night, because there hasn't been adversity that has equaled this, because regular season pressure and postseason pressure are two very, very different things. But it felt like every time there was any semblance of regular season pressure this year, the Cavs responded the right way, and I would expect nothing less from them tomorrow night.
He is Danny Cunningham. He's one of the best in the business on this side of things. You can follow him on social at RealDCunningham, at Locked On Cavs as well. This is in down here. The Cavaliers will buy in. Central Ohio will buy in. They bought in big with LeBron, obviously. We remember the ratings when they were in the finals in the teens with LeBron, and Columbus was usually the number 3 market in the whole country for those games. I've said down here that I think if they get to an Eastern Conference final against Boston or really New York, either one, that there will start to be real buy-in down here, and then obviously a finals, like everybody would jump in. But in terms of in Cleveland, compared to the LeBron runs, which you were involved with, does this team have that city by the throat the way those LeBron teams did?
So I don't know if it's the same way, and I don't know that anything will ever compare to LeBron. I think that this city is sort of learning in some senses what it's like to go through this type of run, because with the second LeBron run, everything was kind of microwaved in a way. Like, he signed back here after 4 years in Miami, and it was a little bit of turbulence early in that first year. But when the postseason arrived, it was just kind of, okay, wake me up in June. And this is very much not that. Like, this Cavs team, I think you can make the cases more complete than any of the Cavs teams LeBron was on here the second time, other than the 2017 team, just from top to bottom. This team might be more complete, but they haven't done it. They haven't proven it. And I think that there's some sense of this fan base that is really enjoying getting to watch this team sort of grow up before our eyes, because we didn't get that when LeBron came back. We immediately got a team that was expected to compete for championships right away, and this is a team that has gone from a first-round exit to a second-round exit last year to now winning 64 games, being expected to compete for championships. And I do think there's a lot of buy-in from fans. I also think that because there have been some postseason failures, there's a little bit of concern from fans, especially after a game one in which they lose in ways that might not be repeatable. But they're I think fans right now are in a position that they're just not used to being in, with a team that is capable of winning a championship. But I do think that's a really cool thing for this city and this fan base.
It's really similar to Boston, isn't it? Like with what they went through with Tatum and Brown, there's a lot of parallels. When I hear you talk about that, it reminds me, like, people are like, Tatum and Brown got to win it now. They got Kyrie, they got Gordon Hayward, and then you just kind of stayed the course and then added the right pieces. And I'm sure, that feels like there's some parallels there in terms of this Cavaliers team and the experience for the fans.
I think that's a really good point. And I had not thought about the Boston aspect of things because those guys were so young, right? Like, we think of Jason Tatum's first year in Boston. They would go to the conference finals and lose in 7 games to the Cavs with Kyrie Irving sidelined, and he really grew up right before our eyes. The team that I had been comparing them to had been the 2014-15 Warriors. And that Warriors team went through a little bit of postseason adversity. If you think back to that year they won the title, I'm not saying that the Cavs are going to win the title, but they were down 2-1 to the Memphis Grizzlies, I believe, in the second round. Like, it was a similar situation to this one. That was a team that had lost in the first and second round 2 years before, could have made a big trade trading Klay Thompson for Kevin Love, elected to keep everything together, hired a new coach. Like, that all sounds very familiar to what the Cavs look like right now. So that's the one that I've been comparing it to. But I think that Boston one's a really good comparison too, just in terms of keeping a team together the way that the Cavs have so far. And I don't know if they're going to be together as long as Boston has. Like, I think that's a really rare thing in today's NBA, especially with the financial climate that we've entered with the collective bargaining agreement and how restrictive it can be for big spending teams, which the Cavs obviously are at this point. But I think that's a really good comp to make.
You're the best, buddy. I really appreciate your time and your coverage, and encourage our audience to seek you out because you're the best in the business at it. Thanks for your time today, pal.
Oh, thanks for those kind words, Bo. Appreciate you, man.
All right, there he goes. Danny Cunningham covers the Cavs at the Inside Shot on Substack. You can catch him on Locked On Cavs and the 92.3 The Fan up in Cleveland, also an associate editor at Cleveland Mag, and follow him on social at Real D Cunningham. You can get all of your updates there. Yeah, there's some pleasure for game 2, but usually you get a haymaker out of the good guys in those type of situations. We'll get you with 3 things coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
It's time for the Great Haircut Sale at your local Great Clips salon. Your chance to get a great haircut at an even greater price, just $7.99. And money's not all you'll save at Great Clips. When you use online check-in, you can save time too. So download our app today and hurry in for the $7.99 Great Haircut Sale at Great Clips. It's gonna be great. For a limited time at participating salons.
The $7.99 Great Haircut Sale runs May 3rd through May 9th.
Visit our Columbus area salons.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Sick of the long security lines and flight delays? Travel on your terms. Go RVing and get ready to save at RCD RV's Open House. From May 3rd through the 10th, take advantage of huge deals on new and pre-owned RVs. Our Delaware, Heath, and Pataska locations will feature exclusive sale pricing on all new and pre-owned travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes with special financing rates available, plus discounts on camping accessories. Come by today. We'll have you road ready by Memorial Day. Find unbeatable savings, unforgettable fun, and everything you need to hit the road at rcdrv.com.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yeah, let's go!
That's you taking another sip of your
Mountain Dew.
Do the Do.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HindererMotorCompany.com.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
When you're starting a home improvement project, a few big questions always come up. Who can I trust? Will they be there if something goes wrong? And lastly, how much is this going to cost me? At Newman Roofing, we've been answering those questions for over 30 years. As a family-owned and operated company that takes pride in every aspect of the job, with family members involved in each department of the company, we treat your home like it's our own. That means clear communication, no shortcuts, and a white glove experience from start to finish. And when it comes to cost, we get it. That's why we offer flexible financing options so you can get the quality your home needs at a price that works for your budget. Don't just take our word for it. With over 700 five-star reviews on Google, families across Central Ohio are sharing their Newman Roofing experience. For roofing, siding, and gutter solutions built around family, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution Specialists.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do you have on the poll today?
Daily Fan Poll sponsored by Caster Connection. Today's asks, how many games will it take to decide the Cavaliers-Pacers playoff series? 4, 5, 6, and 7 are your options. 6 games is leading right now with 67%. 23% of you say it's going to go all 7. 8% say 5 games, and just 2% say it's going to go 4.
You and I both had 6 before, right?
Cavs in 6 to begin the series, I think, was what we predicted. Yep.
Yeah.
Still there.
I still kind of feel like that's the sweet spot of it. I'm guessing game 2, they win by 30. If they don't win by 30, or just, it doesn't have to be 30, but if they're not in control the whole way, then I think at that point, you'd have that would be an attention getter if it's not a really inspiring performance in game 2. All right, time for 3 things on a Monday. Hit it, fellas.
1, 2, 1, 2. 3 things.
sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, number one for me. I have kind of had a rule of thumb since Eastbound and Down that if Danny McBride's doing something, I'm probably going to like it and going to enjoy it. I will say that when I first heard that he was going to do the Righteous Gemstones, I thought, yeah, that's going to work. And for the most part, boy, did it. And I did think the finale, which aired last night. Reese, have you seen it yet? The finale?
I have not. That's Monday.
Okay, I won't wreck it for you. This isn't wrecking it at all, but I would just say that it is very... If you've enjoyed his stuff through the past, if you enjoyed Eastbound and Down, you enjoyed Vice Principals, it is very in line with what he does in these type of things. And so I thought they landed the plane on it. I thought there were some incredible moments. Anybody's brain who can come up with an Uncle Baby Billy and play that out the way that they did is an undefeated brain. So I look forward to whatever he has next. It feels like HBO just gives him a blank slate. Whatever you want, have it. You can take an hour, you can take 30 minutes. It's kind of like the deal they had with LD on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Whenever you're ready to do more stuff, we got you, buddy. And it feels like it's worked out for them through the years. So it was a very fitting conclusion to what's been a very enjoyable show.
Yeah, everything that he's done's hit. Mm-hmm. And so for this, I'll make this my first thing. Just I have not seen the series finale, but I'm excited to see how they put a bow on all of this because the penultimate episode in the series was bonkers.
Well, there's some of that.
So
but I was very honest to the. I mean, some of those Eastbound episodes too, Reese. Remember, some of those Eastbound, like some of the stuff with Stevie was crazy.
But how they began the season with like that look at the first gemstone, played by Bradley Cooper and like his work during the Civil War, and like the second to last episode, like this has been a phenomenal run, and so I'm excited to see how they put a bow on it tonight.
My first thing, and I'm not going to say bad job out of us. I'm just shocked that when we blitzed the weekend earlier, no mention, even though we had him on the show, no mention of Nick Meyers and winning the Big Ten for the first time, leading the Ohio State lacrosse to winning the Big Ten tournament, or Scotty Scheffler, who was setting and breaking and tying records all weekend long at the Byron Nelson, ties the PGA's 72-hole scoring record. I'm just shocked that neither of those
he end up with?
Were in.
He was 31 under for the weekend.
He was 30 under. I got a text from a buddy. He was 30 under with like 7 holes to play.
I think he could take his foot off the gas at that point.
Unbelievable, man. Absolutely unbelievable. We did have Coach Meyers on. I know we put that out on social, and they will play Notre Dame on Sunday here at noon in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Number 2 for me. So we were, Bootsy and Beamsy played straight up mud bowl games. I mean, it was just in the mud muck. They were just covered head to toe in mud. So they get home, and I'm like, I don't even know how to get them home. I don't know what to do when they are home. So we went Shawshank, baby. I had them derove in the garage, and I took the hose and I just sprayed them and all of their gear down. And the amount of mud that came off of them was remarkable. It was great to like see how Bootsy would respond if he ever goes into county, which potentially is in his future. It's all in play with him. Now we do have warm water, so I did start it cold on the hose, and then I put on the hot to kind of make it a little less of a pain. But it was enjoyable for me. It's the small things when you're a dad. It's the small victories.
They look like Sovereignty getting a bath in the winter circle.
They did, yeah. They looked exactly like that. Just mud pouring off of them.
Second thing for me, we had talked earlier in the show about Michigan self-imposing a 2-game suspension for Sharon Moore. That'll happen in weeks 3 and 4 of the 2025 season. Biff Poggi is Michigan's associate head coach. He's a former head coach at the University of Charlotte, the guy that wore just cutoffs when he would roam the sidelines for the 49ers. You got to make Biff the interim head coach against Central Michigan and then against Nebraska. Michigan, you have to.
You've got to be kidding me. Is this real?
Yeah, Wink Martindale's also on that staff.
Gosh, there's going to be nothing like seeing Biff Poggi crying.
This is the guy who had like the T-shirt that he cut the sleeves off of, and then he cut like a V in it. He's on their staff.
Pretty deep V. I don't know what an associate head coach at Michigan does, but let's make him the interim. What the hell?
Make him the guy. Come on, give us a Biff Poggi.
It always amazes me when guys in sports burst onto the scene. and then they flame out like a comet. And one of those was Yasiel Puig. And if you ever wondered why Yasiel Puig flamed out, look no further than yesterday in the KBO, which is the Professional Baseball League in South Korea. Puig is a right fielder for the Cunningham Heroes, and he hits a ball that he thinks is going out to left, and he's pimp walking it. Well, the ball does not go out to left. It hits off the fence, and the left fielder goes and fields it, and Puig realizes he's made a mistake, so he takes off.
Yeah.
As he's rounding first, he trips and falls like he got shot by a sniper, and then he gets up and proceeds to continue to head to second base and get hosed by about 5 feet. Sometimes guys have all the talent in the world, but they just don't get it.
Where is he playing now?
The Cunningham Heroes in the KBO, the Professional Baseball League in South Korea.
His burst on the scene was like Bo Jackson. I mean, people thought, my God, he's Bo Jackson. I remember Vin Scully calling him the wild horse. It was unreal.
He was
His
literally
burst on
a
the scene
defensive
was,
end.
Yeah, he was unbelievable, the way he burst on the scene. Very believable is number 3 for me. So Buddy Garrity and his good buddy Augustus McCrae, who lives right next door, they like to do little play dates and screw around and stuff. So on Saturday night, Friday night, we didn't have as much rain. It was kind of a nice night, and so our neighbors were walking Augustus, and so I said, we could let him play a little bit. You want to let him play? So they do. So the 2 dogs were playing, and which amounts to just playing chase and so forth and so on. If you're curious if the golden retriever of the 2 found the only puddle in the yard and rolled in all of it, you'd have that on your bingo card right. So then that leads to me having to hose him off Shawshank style. He hates it around his face. All the rest of it, he can take the hose all day long, but around the face, it drove him nuts. So that was just an awful night for Buddy Garrity, all things considered.
Yeah, it's dogs high energy dogs have a knack for finding the first puddle or dead animal or whatever's the messiest thing in a yard. They almost go right for it. Final thing for me, 971therace.com. So next month, June 21st in Westerville, we're doing the inaugural 971 The Race. We've got 3 race distances for you to choose from, a 1-mile walk-run, a 5K fun run, and if you're a psycho like me, you've got a 9.71 kilometer run, which is about 6 miles. Think of this event more fun, less run, because we're looking forward to that post-race beer and having a celebration with everybody after that. So 971therace.com for more information and to get registered. We will see you all out there. We look forward to doing that on June 21st.
Final thing for me, Rothman and Ice coming up next. They're going to try to get a more national perspective on this Michigan sign-stealing scandal.
There you go. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. We are back tomorrow, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
The Big 9 was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where our erectile dysfunction treatments are shown to be effective in nearly 90% of cases. Listen to what Alex has to say about our ED treatments.
I have been experiencing problems with ED, but that's all changed. My name's Alex, and I've been a patient for Tri-State Men's Health for under a year. I highly recommend this. Every day I wake up feeling good compared to I was back in the old days. It change is more exciting. I don't have a problem with ED anymore. I'm having a lot more fun. I was very comfortable. I was always comfortable in any conversation I had with Tri-State Men's Health. I just want to let gentlemen out there know that you do not have to live with ED, that it is not just an aging process. It is also hormonal and balance and everything in your system. And once you get that under control and everything, you do go back to your youth a lot in how you feel.
Thanks, Alex. It's true. If you're like most men, we'll help you get your sex life back. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, 3-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining LifeSearch to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. LifeSearch featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Atlas Shingles provide the best value in residential roofing. They feature a limited lifetime warranty and wind warranty up to 130 miles per hour. Their super wide design saves on installation time and labor. Choose from 20 options in stock and ready to take home today. Visit us in store or on Menards.com and shop our great selection of quality roofing products.
Save big money at Menards.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Right now, the Home Depot has spring deals under $20. So no matter what you're working on, the deals are blooming at the Home Depot with savings on plants, flowers, soil, and more. Then light up your outdoor space with Hampton-based string lights. Was $34.97, now only $19.99. And get the grill going with two 16-pound bags of Kingsford charcoal. Was $19.98, now only $17.88. Don't miss spring deals under $20 now through May 7th at the Home Depot. Subject to availability.